Welcome everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to all of you repeat offenders, as my good friend and business partner Attila Hevesy says. We're happy to have you. We're happy to have everybody, new, old. We appreciate the support. Things are growing. Things are going fast. Mr. Ed Barsano, welcome. We'll give you a proper introduction. So my name's Edward Pereira. Actually, I'll change financial intelligence to my real name so you can address me accordingly. Joined by my co-host Attila Hevesy and our special guest. He's with us quite often, but he's still special. Right? Doesn't mean doesn't mean he's not here all the time. So yeah, there you go. Pat yourself on the back.
Good, Eddie.
Yeah, there you go. You're doing good, Eddie. So I'm going to share my screen with you. We'll set some expectations. We are going to have I know you're going to laugh. We're going to try and shorten it to 2 hours. I know Mr. Barsano is sobbing wildly off camera about that, but we're going to try and shorten it up. We'll cover everything. We're not going to miss any Q&A. But as I mentioned that, so the chat is open and remains open. So please support one another. Keep it family friendly. If you want to exchange ideas, those of you that are having success with the trader, please do share. Those of you that are brand new, you're welcome to ask any questions in the chat. That would be of the audience. We really are not monitoring the chat. Excuse me. We are focused on monitoring the Q&A. So as we go through the presentation and the Q&A, if you have questions, please do put them in the Q&A. Some we'll answer along the way. Since we're going to try and shorten it up a little bit, we'll leave some for Mr. Barsano to address, and then we'll get busy. So bear with me. Let me share my screen. Oh, boy. Oh, here we go. There we go. I'm on a laptop, so forgive me. It's somewhat challenging sometimes. Okay, let me make it bigger.
There we go.
There we go. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
All right, very good. So expectations for tonight, we're going to see about 45 minutes of overview starting with me. And the presentation will be 45 minutes of talking about introducing how and why this came to be, and then introducing my business partner, Attila. He'll give some background on how he got involved in this and how we got connected to the genius of Mr. Barsano. And then we switch quickly to the genius of Mr. Barsano, and you're going to be able to see live what he does, what he has created in his 50 years of experience and his 25 years of programming auto traders. And it's a very, very interesting story. It's like having Bill Gates mixed with Albert Einstein, mixed with Warren Buffett, all in the same package. So Mr. Barsano
and Marilyn Monroe for good luck.
And Marilyn Monroe, right? Cary Grant. I forgot the resemblance of Mr. Grant. So we'll it is truly an honor to be able to speak to the creator and understand how this came to be and how we all are blessed to be exposed to this, because it literally is a life trader. You're going to be able to see how it got created, hear the story of the background. You'll be able to see what I call the $1 billion report, which will make a whole lot of sense when we show it to you. You'll see an actual live trader. If Mr. Hevesy wants me to show, I've been simulating over the past couple of months. So you'll see in this market as it's turning from a crypto winter to a what do we call it? Crypto boom sunshine. Then you'll see how the $1 billion report is incorporating how I've used that to show what the possibilities are. You'll understand exactly what it's like to make money in your sleep. Literally. I mean, we don't say that lightly. I know it sounds a little glib, but it's not. It works 24/7, 366. It does not even take leap year off. So get ready. Put your 6-point harnesses on so you don't fly out of your seat. But you'll understand that GoBabyTrade is the only, I can't even call it a product. It really deserves much more than one word. It's not a bot. It's a complete money management system that literally, once it's connected, if you choose to implement this as part of your overall financial strategy, then literally 10 minutes after you purchase the 3-year license, you're up and running and live and literally taking money in your sleep. And we'll show you that as well. It doesn't require any skills whatsoever. You don't need to know what blockchain is. You don't need to know what crypto is. You don't, it's good to have that background knowledge. And part of what I talked about before, our channel is going to be building that background. So if you're brand new, here's an interesting statistic. Only 17% of the people in the US, 330 million people, only 17% know what crypto is and participate in the crypto market in one way, shape, or form. So you're here, you're either curious about it or you're involved in it. So congratulations, everybody should pat themselves on the back, because it is a brand new space that literally is going to replace everything in what you know as the financial world to your benefit. And
Can I make a quick comment? May I make a quick comment?
Of course.
You said 17%
17.
are know what a crypto is.
Correct.
Almost all of them don't know how to trade crypto.
Nobody
They're
knows how to
just
trade
buying
crypto.
and holding and watching everything go down. It's a disaster the way they're doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because that's the magic of this. This is literally set it and forget it. You'll hear that a million times tonight. Please take it literally, and we'll show you examples of what that is. So if you want to automate a portion of or all of your financial future and legacy, I mean, I personally am very touched by this, because at 61, well, sorry, almost 61, I've got a 10-year-old, and I'm building a legacy. I also have a 19 and a 21-year-old that really don't know the way of the world as much as they need to, particularly the financial world, right? Anybody that wants to have more money at the end of the month should pay attention to what we're talking about, because it literally has that opportunity for you. So last thing I'll mention is, please look at the disclaimer at the bottom. We usually mention that first, but listen, we're here to educate you. We're here to provide information. Nothing that we say is guaranteed. Everything is about this trading platform and this education in this brand new space that has an opportunity to put you in a better place. I know I lived years and years and years having more month at the end of the month instead of more money at the end of the month. So we're not giving nothing that we share with you should be construed to be financial, legal, or tax advice. As again, I'll say, no guarantees of return or performance, but it has a very, very, very good track record. So with that, I appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm going to turn it over to my other genius friend and co-host and cohort, Attila Hevesi, and we'll go from here.
Yeah, thank you, Edward. Great introduction. And my job is to give you a brief introduction on myself, a little background, and then tell you why we're all here today. How is it that we came to this point where we're on a Zoom on Hump Day in the middle of the week at 2 p.m. Eastern? Pretty interesting story. So my background is mainly financial, but the best financial move I ever made was in September of 2020. When I had the time, and I totally missed the internet revolution. I was in La La Land. So when I saw the writing on the wall and I saw that the train has left the station with decentralized finance, blockchain, crypto, AI, I'm like, you know what? There's no way I'm going to miss this one. It's too interesting, it's too lucrative, and it's the future. So, gosh, what the heck is on? Sorry, my phone was making a noise. So anyway, the bottom line is that since September of 2020, I took a deep dive in, learned all I could about this space. Now, you don't have to know a thing, which I'll explain in a minute, but I decided to go that route. And it's really the best financial move I ever made. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have a portfolio of crypto. I've learned a lot about the space. But the reason we're here is because of what transpired in 2012. Now, even before that, way before that, our special guest, Mr. Barsano, was in the Navy, and he learned how to program in the Navy. After the Navy, he got himself a job. Bill Gates hired him as one of the first original 350 programmers at Microsoft. during a period of time when Microsoft was going vertical. I mean, they were growing like crazy by leaps and bounds. He did a tremendous job there, retired a young man at the age of 39. And then he was bored. He got into the stock market. And unfortunately, in the year 2020, I'm sorry, the year 2000, he got hurt really bad in the stock market, lost a large part of his net worth. And he literally said, they just messed with the wrong guy because I'm bored. I have this programming knowledge and I want to level the playing field, not for the rich, not for the uber accredited investor, but for the average person like all of us on this line that just wants to make money from trading, but we don't want to do anything. So let's fast forward from this point to 2012, because what he did was pretty spectacular. So in 2012, through a friend of mine, he made a mutual introduction to Ed Barsano. That's when we met. And my friend asked me, he says, Attila, do you trade the stock market? I said, no, that's not my shtick. I don't have the patience to learn how to do trading. He said, how would you like to benefit from successfully trading the stock market without doing anything, like 100% unattended? I said, what does that mean? He says, well, I met this guy. He's an ex-programmer for Microsoft. And get this, he developed a robotic autonomous trader that 9:30 in the morning, right before the stock market opens up, this thing turns itself on. This is after, downloading some software and programming it setting it up for an hour or so. It trades for you all day without you doing anything, really. You don't have to look at it. You don't have to partake in any trades or anything. And then at 4 p.m., it shuts itself off. And he said, that's what I mean about 100% unattended. You could not be there, not look at it, and it makes money for you. I said, well, I'm all in on that. That sounds like exactly what I'm looking for. Tell me more. So he explained a little bit more. I actually bought the license. And then he hooked me up with the marketing company that had teamed up with Ed Barsano. And I actually back then helped market it a little bit too. So one thing led to another, and Mr. Barsano decided after a couple of years, I don't want partners anymore. It's too messy. I'm going back to marketing this on my own. And in 2019, he sold out to a hedge fund who had previously actually purchased many, many licenses from him. And then several people over the next year or so told him, Ed, you should maybe do a trader for crypto. And he thought about it, and at first he was too busy, but then he said, you know what? This looks like the future, like me, same thing I said. And in April of 2021, he actually launched his robotic. He started from scratch and built an automated robotic trader with AI for the cryptocurrency markets. Now, this is where the story takes a little turn. March of 2024, I was having a little bit of a rough day at the office, just a frustrating day. And I'm like, you know what? I've got a crypto portfolio, but I'm a cash flow guy. I love cash flow. How do I just make more money on my money? How do I earn more crypto on my crypto? And it took me a full day, but it finally seeped in my head. And I said, oh my gosh, what about my friend Ed Barsano? I'll bet my life on the fact by now, somewhere in the last 3 to 4 years, surely he's developed a robotic autonomous trader for crypto. So I still had his phone number in my phone. I called him. We spoke for 3 hours, and he confirmed my hunch. He said, Attila, yes, I launched it April of 21. And he said these exact words. He says, as soon as I turned on that crypto trader, I said, I'm done with stocks. He said, it's light years ahead of the stock trader. And he said, here's 4 reasons why. Now, folks, listen up here because this is the key. First thing, stock market trades 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. Crypto 24/7. That's a big advantage. And I said, Ed, I agree. That's a major advantage. Number 2, he said, in order to make money in any kind of trading, whether it's stock market, precious metals, Forex, crypto, you need a lot of volatility. And he said, there's no asset class with more volatility than crypto. I agreed again, because I knew that was a fact. And there will be for years to come, by the way, folks. The third thing he told me is, guess what? It's not downloadable software anymore. It is web-based. I said, are you serious? What does that mean exactly? He says, Attila, what that means is when you buy the license, I could have you trading live in less than 10 minutes. That floored me because I remember it was pretty cumbersome back in 2012 to take 60 to 90 minutes to download that software, make a few setup arrangements. So I said, let's rock and roll. I bought the license on the spot and I was trading live connected to my Coinbase in about 8, 9 minutes with just under 10 grand. That really floored me. But here's the best news out of the four. Number 4 is my favorite. And here's why it's my favorite. Because I'm embarrassed to say in the last 4.5 years, I have lost. And I did anticipate losing money coming into this space because it's a new nascent asset class. I knew I was going to lose some money. I didn't think I would lose 100 grand in 5 different blockchain crypto cash flow projects. That hurts. Now, obviously, I made a lot more than that, but I don't care how much money you're making. Nobody wants to lose that kind of money over 4.5 years. So here's what Ed said. He said, Attila, I created an API connection. So the API connects to your own Coinbase or your own Kraken account. So you control your crypto 100% of the time. I can't touch your money if I wanted to. I said, Ed, that's genius, because I explained to him what just happened to me in the previous years with losing all that money. And I said, man, that's music to my ears. So I said, we got to market this. We got to tell people about this. People want to know about this. Who doesn't want to make money in their sleep? You could literally do that now. So before I introduce our special guest, Mr. Barsano, let me just emphasize to everybody, you need to pay attention to 2 things and think about 2 real specific things that are important. Number 1, when we say set it and forget it, we truly mean that. Please take it literally. Meaning you could buy the license, you could be trading live like I was in less than 10 minutes. Folks, you never have to be in front of the screen. You don't have to look at it. You don't have to do anything. You could be traveling the world and not look at it for a month or 2, and it's making money for you on Mr. Barsano's servers. That equates to financial freedom in my book, because usually it takes some elbow grease to make money in your sleep. This requires nothing other than the decision that, yeah, this makes sense. I see the results. And we will see a live trader today, by the way. I want to buy the license. That's the only decision you have to make, really. And how much money you want to go live with eventually. The second thing I'd like you to consider is understand what this man has done for the world, or to the world. Without anybody needing to be an accredited investor, without anyone needing to know a darn thing about trading, without anyone needing to know anything about blockchain or crypto, you hardly have to know anything about computers. You can now make money while you sleep with this platform. It's phenomenal. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. So I'm going to introduce Ed in a moment, but Edward, you did something interesting about 2 months and 2 weeks ago. Correct me if I'm wrong on the timing. You had a strategy. You've got a live trader, and then you have one that paper trades. Folks, when you buy the license, by the way, you automatically immediately go into paper trading or simulation. Now, the trader doesn't know. When it's executing trades, it doesn't really know until, that you're live or whether you're paper trading. But what you did, Edward, is you started with 3 coins, and then about 2 months and 2 weeks ago, you switched to 4 different coins that were on that report. You're muted.
You're correct. The $1 billion report.
The $1 billion report, yeah. So do you mind sharing real quick so we could get to Mr. Barsano what's happened since then? Because what's happened to your paper trading has just floored me. I mean, it's phenomenal.
So you haven't seen it in a week. Your head is going to come off your shoulders. So when I talked about in the introduction, the $1 billion report, this is something that Mr. Barsano has layered on, and we those of you that joined us early heard us say that, or heard Mr. Barsano say that the system is updated daily in the background. You don't see it, but it is literally being updated. And that's a very good point, that which Attila normally mentions, is that when you buy the 3-year license, and this, by the way, you're either here because you love Crypto Casey, or somebody that you love loves Crypto Casey. So we appreciate that. And we do,
We all do.
we really, really appreciate her. She has spent her entire career since she's been in crypto educating people.
Yeah.
So what Mr. Barsano has done is created this $1 billion report, which is not even, I just checked my calendar before we started, and it's not been just a little bit over 7 months since the $1 billion report. And I keep saying that, and we're gonna show you what that means. But we're gonna show you first. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to show you what it does. So in short, what it does is it highlights all of the trades that the highest trade counts of everything that is listed on Coinbase and Kraken, the 2 API connections that you can, when you buy the license, you can connect the trader to. So this is a simulation, but look at the power of this. So it literally, just before we started, took a profit of $96.73. But this started back, if you look at this is March 25th is when I started the simulation. So these 4 tokens were in the top 10 at the time. I think 3 of the 4 still are, maybe all of them still are. But in the last 30 days, it's taken a little bit over $9,000 in profit. It slowed down the last couple of weeks, has been relatively slow, but prior to that, the prior month, actually 5 weeks, was really, really strong. You're looking at a total profit in less than 3 months. 25th of this month will be, so yeah, another webinar and a half. But 24,000 or what equates to over 100% return if the market continues to go, and it's going to be raging. We're just in the very beginnings. So literally, if you look at this, and I don't want to steal Mr. Barsano's thunder, he's going to go through when he shows you his live trader, but look at what's happened, right? Today, and Mr. Barsano, I see, talk about improvements. It's no longer blank. If it's today, it says today. That's new. So
we're always improving things, almost literally every week.
Well, it's just amazing. So when you take advantage, as I started to say, we're talking about Crypto Casey, when you take advantage of the $1,000 discount that Crypto Casey is honored through Mr. Barsano to be able to present to our audience, you're literally looking at something that works in your sleep. We've said it completely 100% unattended. And look at some of these times. So today, right? Today at 3:17 in the morning, I was sleeping. At 10 a.m., I just was getting my first cup of coffee. Didn't even log in until this afternoon. But look at everything you see in the dark or in the bold is profits. Look at this. Look at the dates.
Look at all those trades on the 9th, Monday.
But look at all those trades. Then you're looking at 12:57, 2:53, 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't have to push a button. Once this is connected, it literally does it for you. You don't have to think about it. The AI, the entire money management system, thinks for you on a millisecond basis and can think, are you pushing, Ed, maybe 3 million lines of code? You gotta be somewhere in that neighborhood. You cannot outthink this machine. And again, as I said in the expectations, this doesn't exist anywhere else. I came out last webinar, and some of you heard me, and I've not heard a peep from anybody. I offered $1,000 in Bitcoin if somebody could present to us with evidence that anything like this magic machine exists anywhere else on the planet. And I've not heard anything. So that offer still exists. You can send a message to us. I'll post some support emails. You can send a message and say, hey, I think this one, and then we'll go look at it. But I can tell you that we are monitoring in the background, and it simply does not exist. Right. So
okay,
we will let me turn it back over to Mr. Hevesy, and then bear with me. I just need to be able to find the stop share, and then we'll introduce Mr. Barsano.
Yeah, the question came in from Steve. How much did you start with? He started that simulation on March 25th with $100,000. Okay, so that's the answer to that. Anyway, folks, it's time to introduce Mr. Barsano, and the reason he comes on here is so that we can not only answer a lot of the questions that come up, but there's questions that we get all the time that are like, I call them the most frequently asked questions. So Ed,
We get a lot of
good
those.
seeing you. Thanks for being here. And I like the black on black. It's a good look.
Thank you. It's always good to be here.
All right. The first question is always the same, and that is AI. So we hear in the world of blockchain, crypto, DeFi, AI, all this stuff over the last mainly 2 years or less about these crypto trading bots that are out there. Trading bot this, crypto trading bot that. And they're terms that are thrown around very loosely, very generously. But what you have is different. You have a robotic autonomous trader with AI. So please explain the distinction between your platform and all these other buzzwords we hear out there all the time.
Okay, AI is there's 1,000 different ways to answer AI, and I always answer it differently, depending on how I want to approach, explaining what AI is, and AI is not the star of the dish. I started doing AI at Microsoft in 1989. I went to school with McDonald's, the hamburger place. I was in class with them learning AI in '89, and
Wow.
they were using it for traffic patterns to figure out where to build the next McDonald's. Um, and so, and some of you, I guess, I've heard are AI people on here. Good, then you know what I'm talking about. AI is not the star of the dish. AI doesn't know anything that it isn't taught. That it doesn't see a lot of repetition. It's got to see it to learn it. It doesn't know it in the beginning. When you first turn it on, AI doesn't know anything. So I think a lot of people are using AI in many wrong ways if they think that you can use AI in trading. There's only a unique way to use AI in trading. Um, and what I mean by that is it's got to see a lot of history because it learns from it. It sees patterns. If it sees 2 plus 2 is 4 a million times, and then you ask it, what is 2 plus 2? It'll say, all right, I'm 98% sure it's 4. It can't tell you it's 100% sure. A lot of times when you see AI, nobody's really telling you what's going on in the background. Do you ever hear anybody else ever say does it ever give you a percent with its answer, or does it just slap an answer at you? Do you realize it's not 100% with those answers? It's never 100%. It might say I'm 60% sure of that, but it might throw that out as an answer to you. Now, how the auto trader interprets it is, the auto trader says, unless that AI says it's 95% sure, then the auto trader ignores it. And the auto trader technically doesn't even need the AI. The AI is just a bell and a whistle. It's a nice add-on. When the price is going higher and the software says it wants to take profit, then it'll say, all right, it's time to take profit. The software wants to take the profit. And then it'll call AI and say, hey, AI, do you think it's going to go higher? See, the software wasn't asking AI in the beginning, what's it doing? It said, I'm ready to sell and take profit, but AI, do you think it's going to go higher now? If the AI doesn't say it's going to go higher, then the software will take the profit. If the AI says, I believe I'm over 95% confident it's going to go higher, then the auto trader will hold on and wait and let the price go higher. It's that simple. It's really that simple. Same way when the price is going down. If the price is going lower, the software says it's time for me to buy more. The software is doing all the money management. It's calculating the shares and everything. And so when it says it's time to buy more, it'll call the AI and say, AI, do you think it's going to go lower in the next few minutes? AI says, no, I don't think it's going to go lower. Okay, then I'll go ahead and buy it right now. But if the AI says it's going to go lower and is 95% confident that it's going to go lower, then the software will go ahead and wait and let it go lower. And that's what AI is. It's not the bell. It's, this cooking shows where you open up the basket and you pull out these food ingredients and say your dish has to be the star of the dish, and you better make that dish taste like beans because that's the star of the dish is beans. Well, your meal was good, but I couldn't really taste the beans in the dish. You ever watch those shows? Um, Anyways, AI is not the star of the dish. The trader is the star of the dish. Okay, so that's, what else can I say about AI? To me, it's nice to have. It's a nice add-on. How other people are approaching AI and other traders out there, in my opinion, they're all out of, either they don't know what they're talking about or they're lying, and I don't even know how they're doing it. My AI has been running 25 years. So if their AI came out last year, then my only answer to that is their AI doesn't know what it doesn't know. It's got to see history. It's got to be running for a long time. And it's got to have the right data that the auto trader knows how to deal with. AI giving me answers, telling me stuff. If it doesn't do any good for an AI to come out and say, buy this coin, and it's like, and then your auto trader is just going to buy it. Where's the money management in there? Maybe it's not time for the auto trader to buy it. You don't want to put all your money in at one time just because AI says the coin's going to go higher. What if it doesn't? Because what if it doesn't go up enough to take your profits and then it goes down instead, and you used up all your money when it wasn't time to put more in? So there's a lot going on in a trader. Money management, risk management, all that has to take place. And that's the trader doing all that, not the AI.
Great answer, Ed. And you just mentioned something that leads us to the second most common question we hear. You mentioned money management. Say that fast 3 times. So it's not so much a question, it's more of a misunderstanding. So let's say somebody buys the license. They go live with whatever amount of money, 2,000, 10,000, 100,000, doesn't matter. And they're like almost shocked that all that money's not being immediately pulled in to be traded. So it's really about the money management. Can you speak to that? Because in my opinion, that's the core of what you've built that makes the most sense to me and Edward, as far as why this thing rocks the way it does. As somebody said last week, remember, money management, but also risk management. They're kind of
Right,
synonymous. Yeah.
right. They are. All right. As far as money management, when you mentioned a little while ago that 17% of Americans are in crypto, and then what did I say? And they're
Even
all
the
doing
one,
it
even
mostly
the even the ones that are in don't know how to trade.
right. They don't know what they're doing. And nothing, and this isn't a bash on anyone, because if you don't know, you don't know. I mean, I don't know how to change a headlight on my car. And I watched the guy doing it, and I'm like, man, you make that look so easy. I mean, we all have our expertise in fields, all right? Well, when it comes to cryptos, Crypto Casey knows more than all of us combined. She's like the smartest person I ever met. Sometimes I don't know why she intimidates me so much. She's so intelligent, especially in the crypto. I like to say that I know crypto, boy, but she knows crypto inside and out.
Well, you got a chance to see her in the wild a few weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah. She called me and said she's in Vegas and, did I want to link up? And I'm like, all right. And then when I went and saw her, she said, oh, you didn't have the dress. I don't know. Yes, I did.
Yeah,
You
you're
don't
both
go and meet the
amazing people.
president in your jeans, right? So, but anyways, yeah, she's fantastic. In person as much as she is online, amazing. But anyways, the money management is the most critical thing where I can tell you just about everybody is making a mistake, because I talk to everyone knows I'm an open book, and they show me their coins and everything they're doing, and a lot of people, and some of you may recognize this style of trading, over the last 7 years, say they've been just buying a bunch of crypto and adding to it every month. They add more coins, they're adding more to the coins, and they're just accumulating all this crypto. Some have 40 to 100 symbols that they're just sitting on. My prop in a down market. It's been going down for 4 years. So they're loading up like crazy up here, and the prices are all the way down here. They're underwater on all that. It's all dead money. It's like you got a whole drawer full of silver dollars, and you're just sitting on it. And silver, what's it doing? It's going up and down, up and down, up and down. You're literally missing tens of thousands of trades, all that money, all that buying and selling. It's like, say you had two, and I make this up on the fly, folks. Sorry, I don't have notes. But if you have one 7-Eleven here and another 7-Eleven a block away, and they both fill up their shelves with groceries. But one of them says, haha, I'm going to lock the door and I'm going to wait for this food to appreciate in value. And then you got the other one buying and selling, and you're turning inventory like crazy every day. You know, they got same store sales happening, bringing in thousands a day, while this other one is just sitting there waiting for the price of bread to go up. I don't know. But that's what a lot of people are doing with the crypto. And I'm like, you are missing thousands of trades, all that money. I'm holding my head right now just thinking about it. It hurts. You know, I look at their accounts, I'm like, look at all that dead inventory, throw it all away, liquidate all that, go to cash and let the auto trader manage it. And let the auto trader starts turning profits every day like Edward's trader was doing there. You know, I mean, I love that trader, and I I don't want to say I was impressed, only because I know this is what the auto traders do. I mean, you had a
It's
typical
okay.
trader there, Ed. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You can say you were impressed. All I did was employ
No,
your.
I was impressed. It looked nice.
All I did was employ the genius of the $1 billion report that you created.
Right. And you grab the top movers at the top of the trading report, and we'll go into that and I'll show everyone that. And yeah, that makes sense. Give me the ones that are turning more inventory. Would you
Right.
want to put something on a shelf in your 7-Eleven that you don't sell any of? You only sell, oh, well, that's a junky candy bar that nobody ever buys. Why don't I fill up my shelf with that candy bar? No. Give
But
me the,
but here's the
put some
magic.
Butterfingers on that shelf.
Here's the magic. I didn't know those four cryptos as a funny analogy that Attila said 4 years ago. He didn't know a crypto from a jelly donut. I didn't know those four cryptos from anything. But
I know.
the system actually did all the analytical work for me. It found the most volatile coins. Which, what do I say about the trader? What does it do? It eats
It eats
volatility.
volatility. Yeah.
All I did was employ what you created, and it made magic. Listen, I'm no smarter than anybody else, maybe slightly a little
Not
more
true.
challenged than
Not
most
true. I'll give you that
most,
one. I mean,
most
but
people
no,
on
no,
the
you're
webinar.
smarter than a lot of people.
But I didn't have to be smart. All I did was employ what you created.
But that was smart.
And
That was a smart thing to do.
listen. If somebody gave me the keys to a plane and I've never learned how to fly, versus
Yeah.
somebody sitting next to me that's flown for 1,000 years, what's my choice going to be? Right? Pick Ed Barsano. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It is amazing to me every single day. I look at that simulation and I look at the value of what you've provided,
Cool.
that none of us have to think for a living anymore. It just
Yeah.
doesn't exist, and to most people, quite frankly, it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, only to the people who don't own an auto trader, it's unbelievable. People who own an auto trader, they see it and they know it's real. Now,
Right.
to answer your question though, until I detract, I sidelined a little bit. Money management means that instead of the auto trader putting all your money in all at once at the top, this is the market, this is the price of the coin. Up here, if you went all in up here with all your money, you are what's called a huddler. Hold on for dear life, right? Buy and hold.
Hodler. Yeah.
Hodler, okay?
Yep.
So you're all in and the price goes down, but you don't have any more money to buy when it goes down here. You're dead in the water. You're dead. That coin's moving around like this and you're not making anything. People who went in 4 years ago got to be jumping out of a window by now because the prices are down 90% from where they were 4 years ago. And all their money's up here, and they're missing crazy moves in the market. Crazy moves, 100% jumps in the coins. They're flying all over the place. They're not making anything. They're missing the boat. And they're just sitting there waiting and praying for the coins to go back up to where they were so that they can eventually sell them at a higher price. With a trader, you're never in that boat because the software is using all your money in its math, in its calculations, but it's not spending all your money. It's leaving it in there. It's kind of like if you had monthly bills every month, you have a budget, right? You budget and you say, all right, I get paid once a week. This is all made up, of course. If you get paid once a week and you bring in this much money each week, and you have to make sure at the end of the month you've got enough to pay those bills, right? You don't go out and start spending all your money before the end of the month, and then when the month comes around, you don't have any money to pay your bills. It's the same thing here. The software reserves money so that it knows ahead of time how much it needs to take that price all the way to the bottom, and then it calculates the shares. So no matter where it goes, you always have money. You're always trading. Always trading. Always be trading. Isn't that a what was that movie? Always be selling.
Yeah, always be closing. That's
Oh, with
Glengarry
Gary,
Glen
Glenn
Ross.
Ross.
Always be
Okay.
ABC, always be closing.
Yeah, right. It's the same thing with the auto trader. It's always be selling, always be buying and selling, buying and selling. If you're running a store, you never want to have an empty shelf. If you run out of potato chips and kids come in, you have no potato chips to sell. You always have to have inventory. And this is where we talk about a lot of things. I always say down is good because the stuff you buy at the lowest, when it bounces, that's what you're selling. So you buy low, sell high. I didn't say buy at the bottom and sell at the top. I just said buy anywhere and sell it higher. And do that repeatedly for the rest of your life. That's what the trader does. So
In perpetuity.
in perpetuity, right? I like that. And I made that one up, didn't I? It trades in perpetuity. If you buy a 3-year license and you don't tell us that you died, your trader will trade for the whole 3 years all by itself. So just on a side note, every one of you who do have crypto accounts, make sure you share the information with your loved ones so they know how to log into the account, they know how to get your money, because people do die, accidents do happen. It's just a word I like to throw stuff
Yeah,
like that in.
yeah.
I know if anything happens to me, my wife has demonstrated already that she can log into my Coinbase account and she can get at it. That's an important thing because I talk to a lot of people and they don't. You know why I know they're not their spouses can't do it, because a lot of people barely can log into their own Coinbase account. I'm like, if you can't do it, what's your wife doing? You
Yeah.
gotta make sure that you really intimately know how to log into your account.
Hey,
So
Ed,
that would be an exercise for everybody. When you see if you can just go to a website, log into Coinbase.com without your phone on the PC, so don't use the Coinbase app, and actually log into your account. You need to know your email name, your password, and see if you can do it. Let that be an exercise.
yeah, good point. Good advice. Okay, can we do this? I know you have a great graphic that you like to show. I'd like to go to your trader, but
First,
for the benefit of those people that have never been on one of your Zooms, you have a really good graphic that shows the method to your madness. It's called the bucket and the well.
oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and then let's go to the trader after that, and then we'll
All
go to
right.
the Q&A.
So this is your trader. This is how it works.
Yep.
This is if it was water, I paused it for a second. If it was water and the bucket starts at the top, you push the bucket all the way down and get the water, go all the way back and dump it out. Everybody knows that works. If I asked everybody here, how much water will that well pump in a lifetime? If it goes all the way down, gets the water, goes all the way back up and dumps it out and repeats that forever, how much water will it pump? Nobody questions that. Everyone says 1,000,000 gallons, 1,000,000,000 gallons, 1,000,000,000,000 gallons. Nobody questions it. But then I say, how much money will it pump if it's just crypto? And it doesn't have to go to the bottom and it doesn't have to go to the top. Let's watch it. Buy, sell. Let's go back up and let it start over. Buy, sell. Buy,
I love that.
sell. It's almost an insult to humanity is what I call it.
This is
And
what
oh
our
look, it
traders.
went lower. So we're gonna hold on to that one. And that's okay. We can hold that. I'll hold it forever. I don't care. The action's down here. The auto trader literally follows the price of the coin wherever it goes. It's almost sounds like this shouldn't even be legal. It's such free money. It's an insult to humanity because it's just free money. Wherever the price goes, we just keep buying and selling, literally forever. Just keep giving me money forever.
Yeah.
And and I know that's hard for some people to believe. I heard one guy in a when I was teaching a class on AI and I drew this on a whiteboard, I heard somebody in the audience go, he said, there's no way that could be real. Why? What about it is, I don't get it. There's no reason it isn't real. It's absolutely real. And you can watch your trader do it all day long.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
so
great, Ed.
simple. It's
That's such a good visual. And folks, if you're on here for the first time, if you get this, just realize this is what our traders do for us. 100% unattended, set it and forget it for us. Goes up, takes a profit, goes up. In fact, I was talking to somebody about the trader once and they said, hey, can you give me a 20-second like elevator pitch on what's the bottom line on this trader? I said, here's the bottom line. They buy, you select the coins, you select how much you want to go live with. When it goes up at least 3% or more, depending on the AI kicking in or not, it takes a profit. When it goes down at least 3% or more, depending on the AI, it buys more at a lower price. That's it. End of story. Okay, Zoom over. Thank you, everyone.
I know
You know,
we
I
could end
mean,
the presentation right there because
yeah,
literally. And then you got all the racks of servers and all the stuff that I've been doing for 25 years,
yeah,
making sure that your auto traders run efficiently and
knock
are
on
just
wood.
running like the ever-ready bunny rabbit, man. Your auto trader is flying because
Yeah,
it's in its own ecosystem, its own, environment, and it's internal. It doesn't have to go over the World Wide Web to get information. Like if it was running on your computer, it's got to go, I mean, it depends on the speed of your internet in your house, yeah, and the speed of your computer. And then it's got to retrieve all the data. You can't even have all that running, AI running on a laptop in your house. However, because in our co-location center, we have all these, where it's a closed environment, all the dirty work is all separately from your trader. So it's all the other programs are feeding the auto trader what it needs. And it's just so the auto trader is just flying, man. I mean, I wish I could show you a visual of how fast it is. I mean, it's nothing like what you see on the screen because the screen is just showing you snapshots of what it looks like it's doing. But in reality, the prices are changing like crazy and the auto trader's got a feed two data feeds feeding into it, and it's just looking for buy and sell decisions. Buy and sell. Is it time to buy? Is it time to sell? And that's it. That's all it's got to think about. It doesn't have to think about anything else, and which makes it really
that's brilliant.
awesome.
That's so brilliant. Why don't we go to your trader and let's show
Sure.
people on the left side. I love it when you start with an explanation. I call that the quick dashboard, the light blue on the left. Can you just go over each? I know you told me once that you started this account with approximately $200,000, right?
Yeah, 3 years
Okay.
in December of 21.
Okay.
Right when the crypto winter started, I released an auto trader in the middle of a market crash. How do you like that?
Man.
I'm like, am I crazy? Is the market crashing? And I just released a robotic trader.
So wait a minute, wait a
But
minute.
it
Time
turned
out.
out to be the right thing to do,
Time out.
the right time.
You just had that one area highlighted. Highlight that again, because I want to make sure everybody sees this because this is insane. But it's real.
It's all
You want
about
this
profits taken. See, this is where
profits
it's
taken, man.
It's not, don't worry about inventory and all that kind of stuff. Don't worry about if a coin is going down and all that. It doesn't matter because like you saw in the bucket in the well, when it goes up, you'll sell all that off anyways, and there's no rush. Because the action, it's not about how much a coin moves up, it's about how many trades you're getting.
Right,
That's what's the important thing.
right.
And we'll talk about that when I show you this report that shows you the coins that give you the most trades.
The
But we'll
bill,
start
wait,
at
wait,
the
wait, hold
top.
on. Make sure you
Yes,
call it by the right name.
the $1 billion report.
That's the one. That's the one.
Edward called it that. That's a good name for it. It's perfect because with Go Baby Traders, we don't trade junk that'll give you 2 trades in a month or 7 trades or 15 trades. We trade coins that'll give you 100 trades in a month, 80 trades, 250 trades. I mean, good numbers that really, just grind out money.
Mind you, let me mention profitable trades, because the trader is programmed to never sell at a loss.
It never sells at a loss. Like, I didn't even look at my trader today, by the way, and I'm just looking down here in the lower right here.
So,
I can
well,
see,
so you've got different coins than I do, but look at the action.
and they're not as good as the coins you have. But I've been in these coins for 3 years, and you can see the amount of money that it keeps taking. That will just keep going up. This column, closed positions, never goes down. As long as I don't manually sell something at a loss, I've never done a manual trade in this trader. You can't search my filled orders and find one reason that says manual order.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of you guys like to do, some of you, if you're live traders on there, some people do manual trading, and it's okay. They want to get in there and do it. Like this
So
ACH right here. Look at it, 6:03 this morning, it bought ACH. It says all add to position rules pass, and AI got involved in that trade. And then at 11:52, you can see the quantity is the same here. There's the quantity of the buy, and there's the sell. It's the same order. It closed it. And it took that free, I call it free money, 199 bucks. Thanks. Honey, I'm going to go grocery shopping. I got the money for today. It's just a joke. Literally, it's a joke. The whole crypto market to me is an insult to humanity. And it is to everyone running an auto trader. We realize it's not what people think it is. It's free money. But other people have different ideas of cryptos and all that. If you listen to Crypto Casey, she's so smart. I mean, I found her videos. She signed up once, I don't know, last year sometime. And that's when I first heard of her. And then I went and looked at her videos online, and I'm like, whoa, she's got to be the smartest person I ever met. She knows so much about crypto, and I would watch all her videos. I mean, I recommend it for everybody. I would really just,
She's a sweetheart. She really cares about educating her audience, which is why
she
of
blows my
all
mind.
the
She's
hundreds and
smarter than
hundreds,
Bill Gates, and I've met them both.
the hundreds and hundreds of crypto influencers, if you will, that are out there. The Crypto Casey does not have the biggest audience, but she has the most authentic, sincere content, and that's why we chose to work with her. Period. Let me make
It's
an
amazing.
analogy. Look at your account, Ed. You started with $200,000 not yet 4 years ago, correct? How would you?
Yes.
This is a question for the audience, and I know it's sort of obvious, but let me just make this analogy. How would you like to have bought a piece of property 3.5 years ago, and in 3.5 years you paid $200,000 for it, and right now it is at a $727,672.90 profit? How would you like to do that every day?
And it's not magic. It's just taking, you can see the profits add up forever. See that 326,000 that I made on ACH, they can never get that back, because every time the coin goes up, I just keep skimming money forever. This is open inventory. That's those positions that are still underwater. A little bit, I bought them higher up and the price went down. I've got all this open inventory. And this is what I say about down. Down is good. Don't worry about down days. Be happy. You have to have inventory to sell. See, these are simple concepts. If you don't have inventory, then you have nothing to sell. So when prices are going up, you're selling. You see all these closed trades. Let them get on here. See all these positions right here that closed. You had to buy them. When did you buy them? Well, when did the trader buy them? Well, probably a couple days before it sold them. So it bought them there, it went up, and it sold them all off. And it's just a constant. You can just scroll through the trades and look. All these where there's no prices, those are opens. So you got buys and sells. You got it. You're constantly buying. You look at all this here. You think, whoa, March 28th must have been terrible. No, that was when you were loading up. And then what happened on the 30th and the 1st and each day, you're closing all that inventory off. You're selling it all off for crazy money. if we go to January 27th, it's my favorite day of the year so far this year. I love it. Because you
Soon
see all
it's,
this profit I made on ACH right here, that 326,000. Remember, it went down, right? You know, the coin went from 12 cents in 2021 all the way down to 1.5 cents. You'd have thought this guy's got to be getting hammered. Well, if you're a buy and holder, you are getting hammered. But if you're using an auto trader, you're taking all that profit. Because look what happened on January. Look at from January 27th. On January 24th, I think ACH was at 2.2 cents. And then it started just buying and selling. On January 27th, it just started spiking. Look at this. The price just started going up 3.8 cents, 4.1 cents, 4.3 cents. You know, it started going higher. And then the auto trader started, even while it was going higher, it's just like a chart shows. It was going up, but then it started going down. And each time it wiggled down a little, the auto trader said, I'll buy more now. So then it just, while it's going up, it wiggles down, the auto trader gets more. So not only are we selling the inventory that we were holding that was underwater, we're actually selling new inventory that we're buying along the way and taking all this extra money along the way. It's just, so it went from 2.2 cents in 4 days to 5.6 cents. How beautiful was that? What is that, 150% return or
yep,
something?
200, almost 255% profit
Free money, free
in
money.
in
I'll
less
do
than
this
5
till I
months.
die, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop me. I'm not violating any laws. I'm not doing anything a 7-Eleven isn't doing. I'm putting product on the shelf and I'm selling it at a higher price.
Well, I love your analogy of the two 7-Elevens. You never said that before. One chooses.
Well, I wanted to compare the stupidity of it, of holding, sitting on stuff and just sitting on it. And you know, it's like you're missing all the action.
Hey, Ed, before we go to the Q&A, we do have some questions. So pretty soon you'll be taking that jacket off. But why don't we go to the $1 billion report? Because I think the questions we have today, and we got a bunch, are going to necessitate us to go to some of these screens that you could explain now. We might as well wait till the questions pop up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Can
Yeah.
I answer one question that somebody sent email yesterday on in support? They said, "Does this 30-day profits does it refresh at 0 at the beginning of the month?" No, it's a trailing 30 days. It's always looking
Trailing.
30 days back. How much did I
Yep.
take in the last 30 days?
That's cool.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point that out.
That's a really good thing to point out. That's actually never been covered. That's the
Yeah, I
first.
know. I was
That's
surprised
yeah.
about the question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's a good one. Okay.
That's
Billion
why I
dollar.
put the date on there. So sometimes if you just like started a week ago, then you really haven't made it. Hasn't been 30 days. That's why I put the date. I put
Right.
since you might be 5 days ago
Right. Yeah,
for
perfect.
for
All right.
new people.
All right, put on your
All right.
put on your seatbelts for this one, folks. This is awesome. This is
We
Edward's
want to see the highest.
highest trade counts.
All right. If you use Crypto Casey's link and come to this website, so that when you do click buy now, you get the $1,000 discount. You can click on trade counts right here.
Well,
It's in your trader. If I go back to my trader for a second, you can see it from inside the trader too. In the menu, it's called highest trade counts. So when you click on that, it brings you to the highest trade count report. And this is each month this report comes out. So this one it came out on June 1st, and you can see here so left to right. First off, the report shows every symbol ranked by the ones that have that would have, if you were trading that coin last year in the last 12 months, that's how many trades you would have got. Closed trades, profitable trades. And you see it starts with the biggest number at the top and they get smaller as you go down. Then, and I'm always improving things, right? Then I created this like 7 months ago, I think, initially. And then I added the price so you could see what the price was, because I didn't add it on the original report. And then I added the monthly, how many trades does it do on average per month? I thought that was an interesting thing to know. But then I said, well, 206 trades on average a month, but that could be skewed by big months. Like if you look here and see these. And I'm like, so let's put every month, like I have enough room for 8 months on here of trades per month. And let's see what's the lowest amount lowest month it ever had. And I saw over here, ooh, 18 trades in a month. So even though it's number one, I don't like numbers like 18 trades in a month, or this one down here, 14 trades that month. I don't like that. It's discouraging for me. But look at number 5, Sui, which was number 6 last month, by the way. It moved up to number 5. Its lowest month was 38 trades. And its next lowest month after that was 78 trades. I'm like, whoa, I like this. I can almost feel like if I'm trading SUI, I'm probably going to get numbers like that every month. I'll take it. I love it. You know, and then you got Bonk. And by the way, these are default coins. When you sign up, the first, as soon as you put your credit card number in and your account gets created, the very next screen you're going to see, it's going to say enter your symbols. And a lot of people are going to say, well, how do I know what symbols to trade? There's a default button and it brings up these top movers. It'll have Sui, Bonk, the coins Edward is trading basically,
Right.
Pepe. And why these coins? There's Pepe. Look at the months. No low months. Look at that. 46 trades is his lowest month. Now you start going to the bottom of this report, you start entering garbage mode. Garbage coins. And I shouldn't say it like that because a lot of you are sitting on this stuff. I mean, LIT on line 276. You know, do you really want to trade a coin that's going to give you 11 trades in a month or 10 trades? You know, and you go down even further, you know, then you're starting to approach these other coins, which are even worse. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, you know, Bitcoin is on line 329 here. 278 trades in a year, averages 24 trades in a month. It had its best month last year was 35 trades. That's its best month. Sui's worst month was 38 trades. So Sui's worst month beat Bitcoin's best month. I mean, Bitcoin's a great coin to sit on, I guess, and give it to your grandkids as an heirloom. You know, but for me, a good heirloom to give your grandkids, give them a fully funded robotic trader, and then he's got money for life, you know, instead of just sitting on one coin, hoping and praying that it's going to go higher. But you can dollar cost average with Bitcoin. The software does all the money management, dollar cost averaging, you know, so you can set Bitcoin, your trader, to allow it to, don't let it, tell it to don't sell, just accumulate as it wiggles, which is a great way to dollar cost average. Better than just throwing money in and every month randomly, you're adding at the wrong times. But if you don't dollar cost average properly, you actually are raising your average cost. Dollar cost averaging is supposed to lower your average cost. But if you're adding when it's going higher, you're actually raising your average cost. Doing it wrong, and millions of people are doing it wrong. That's why the auto trader is so great. It does it properly. It puts you in at the right time. Every trade is precision, and it calculates the shares to buy based on the amount of money you have. Can you imagine if you were trading CQT here? Are you serious? You'd throw that in an auto trader? You got nothing. You know, I mean, that's why these coins at the bottom are not really desirable for robotic trading. I want the stuff at the top. I want stuff like, look at Bonk, number 6 here now. Its lowest trade here was 1 month, 37 trades. And then after that, boom, 72 trades, 78 trades, 80 trades. That's real money. Man, you're cranking out money, man. That's what it's all about. It's all about turning inventory. It's not about just selling a diamond ring in one
Right.
time or something. Or
Sure.
selling. I know a lot of people are in real estate, and that's great. Everybody's got their niche. And for robotic trading, it's all about turning inventory every day. And it's dependent on the market. If it's a down day, then don't plan to be selling. However, in the middle of a down day, coins do wiggle. It might wiggle. On a down day, the coin might drop, and then your trader buys. Now you got that coin trapped down there. Never feel bad if you feel like a price is low. You know why? because it's low for everybody in the world. And they don't know how to handle low. So it might go down. They bought it up here, it goes down to here. They don't know how to handle the fact that it's down. You do. Your auto trader will buy more down here. Now you got the market trapped, the rest of the world doesn't. So when it goes up a little bit, you're selling and taking profit. What are they doing? They're still waiting for it to go all the way back up to that other buy price. They didn't create a buy down here and sell it. So you have a huge advantage over the rest of the world, really.
That's great, Ed. That's really great. Okay, listen. That was amazing information. Now the time you've been waiting for. I know you're just waiting to
Taking
whip
my
off
coat
that
off.
jacket.
Q&A, baby.
Ed,
I love Q&A.
when the jacket comes off, folks, he starts to get real serious now. So you really
So, Mr. Barsano, can I share some bad news?
Sure. Well, somebody asked me that one time. He said, you tell us all about this great stuff. How about telling me something bad? All right. Well, everything that I've been doing is 25 years. You don't think that the auto trader has improved over 25 years? Sure, there was always what you call bad, I call something that could be improved, and we improve it. And
Well,
that's why where we're at today. This is not the same trader that I released in 2002.
So don't get nervous. This is actually not really bad news. It was sort of a trick. Talking about the $1 billion report. So it literally is the greatest report that you could have ever compiled, information that you could have ever compiled for anybody. Here's the bad news. If people are not using the trader, they cannot take advantage, because it literally, when you look at all of the trades, and if somebody said, okay, that's great information, I really want to have access to this report. Well, here's the good news, is you have access to it. Just a few moments ago when you mentioned Crypto Casey's discount, I put it in the chat. I will share that again. But the $1 billion report works because if you employ the information, and as you said, the new default settings are some of these highly traded coins, similar to the ones that I shared. But even if somebody has access to this report, they can't take advantage of it because they can't outthink the trader. Unless you literally want to tie yourself. Here's one really important message from me to you, that is me to everybody, is that this trader allows you to take advantage of all the technology, 50 years worth of programming experience, 25 years worth of programming auto traders to its success. And even now, when I logged in yesterday to today, there's some fantastic changes that you don't see in the background. By the way, you buy the trader, you don't get charged. There is no monthly maintenance fee for Ed and his team to do all of this updating information, because it's updating for the entire GoBabyTrade community. But my point being that you can't take advantage of this trader and using this information unless you have the trader, because it thinks 24/7, 366, as I said in the intro. What this has provided me, and Ed, you can relate to this, Attila, and anybody else online with us that owns the trader. It literally frees you up to be able to live your life. There are professional traders out there that will trade for you, that have years and years, maybe even decades of study in trading spaces, the crypto space, the stock space, but they have no life. They're looking at 6 screens, 10 screens, trying to figure out what dart in the dark they can throw and
they're throwing darts.
Literally. So there is nothing like this that allows you to buy your time back. What's more important than money? Time.
God, family.
Time, God, family, being able to spend time with them. Right. Here's the punchline. You get both. You get your time back. You get to make money while you're sleeping. You don't have to stress and sit and go, oh my God, 3 o'clock in the morning, there was some indicator that says I should have sold or I should have bought, and I wasn't awake. I was sleeping. You don't have to worry about that. It just doesn't.
Right. And I talk to
Yeah.
so many people, and a lot of you know that you've talked to me for hours, right? I do. I always say, unless you got 2 hours to kill, you better not call me, because we will talk about the border and the vaccines while we're at it. We talk about everything. You know, once you sign up with GoBabyTrade, you're just part of the GoBabyTrade family. Really, we're all in this together. When I got hammered in the 2000 market crash, do you mind if I share this, Attila? Do I have a minute?
You got a minute. Go ahead and
It's
share. While
all
you're
right.
sharing, congratulations
All
to
right.
Anthony for becoming part of the GoBabyTrade family just today. And he went
Yes.
Oh, welcome aboard.
he watched my video in the back office and he went live, did the API all himself. Congrats.
Really?
And
He watched your video and he still bought it?
He's like, does that guy ever shut up? Um, I know I was talking to somebody at midnight last night, and I could sense the way he was talking, like he was eager to get off the phone. But I wasn't done talking. He signed up this morning too, by the way.
Congratulations.
That's great.
But in the 90s, you know, we were all in the tech stocks. It's not like I didn't know anything. But I didn't. You didn't need to know anything in the 90s, you know? You were just in all the tech stocks and they were all going up. You know, but then when I got in the 2000 market crash and 60% of my wealth vaporized within a 4-month period
Mm,
in 2000. I think it started in like February, March, April, May, June. That 4 months,
mm.
boom, 60% vaporized. And I said, you know what? You picked on the wrong person, man. You know, I'm gonna hurt you for that. And I didn't know who you was, but I said I knew I was gonna. I'll automate this whole thing, man, and I'll give auto traders to everybody, and I'll put us all on the same playing field. No more do the big boys get to wiggle those prices around and they make money. Now we're making money too. They want to play with the numbers. I'll piggyback everything you're doing. You want to go lower? I'll go lower. Who said that? Hillary? You go lower, we'll go higher, or something like that. No, you go lower, I'm going lower. You go higher, I'm going higher. I'm going to follow that price wherever it goes, and I'm going to make you pay me. I got that market trapped in a box. And that was the goal from day one. I said, we the people are going to conquer this market. However, what did I know? Nothing. I need help. Back then. So I started presenting all over the country, you know, AAII. You guys can look it up. American Association of Individual Investors. AAII.com. And they have presentations all over the country. They need speakers. And back then in 2005, 2006, I was the only one talking auto trader. So they were all calling me saying, "Will you fly out here to Dallas? Will you?" I mean, there was no Zoom. You know, will you come to Seattle? You know, and every week, literally every week, I would fly out on a Friday, spend the night in a hotel near where I was going to present, and then Saturday morning, I'd go in there and present to that audience. Could be 300 people, could be 30 people. I didn't care, and I didn't want a dime from anybody. They all wanted, hey, I can pay you for your airfare. Nope, I don't want it. Don't need it. I'm enjoying it. I'm learning from everyone else. We're all sharing. So we're all sharing what works, what doesn't work. And then based on all that knowledge, I know what works and what doesn't work because I could see what wasn't working. I discovered during those presentations all over the country that everybody wants to make money, but nobody knew how. I could see it. They didn't know how. They were all gambling. They're all doing it all wrong. If you ever picture this, if you see somebody sitting in front of a monitor or 6 monitors, if you will, and what are they looking for? They're looking for all these indicators because there's a different indicator on each monitor. They're looking for them all to be pointing in one direction, up or down, and which are they all going their way? So they feel like it's time to jump in now. So when you do it that way, you're jumping in after the coin has already made its move, right? So you're buying now. I call that the top. You're hoping it's going to go higher to make money. No money management. You didn't budget for what happens if it drops 90%. You're just going to sell it at a loss if it goes down 3%. Man, you're just going to be losing money every other day doing that. And you're not doing any money management. What the auto trader is doing is it's saying, I don't need to know anything other than I'm trading the best coins that are I already feel confident. If I'm trading SUI, this is what I can expect in trades every month. I feel confident about that. Okay, just based on that. I don't need to know anything else. I don't even know what SUI does. I don't even know who SUI is. But the name of the game is buy it while it's down and sell it when it goes up. Sometimes on a big up day, like the market's really moving on that day, I'll get 5 people will call me on my cell phone and say, hey, Ed, I want to be all in. How do I put all my money in now? I want to buy these coins. I want to put it all in right now. I'm like, no, because what if it goes the wrong way and then you're all in up here? You're dead and you will get burned if that's your method. And so, and I said, you do realize everything that we're selling on this beautiful up day was bought on down days. Like I showed you back over here in the trader. You bought this down day here, February 2nd, was a buy day. And the 3rd, and then look what happened on the 3rd. It started selling it all off. So and there's more on the 3rd. You got multiple screens of all this inventory. All that stuff. Look at February 3rd was a crazy day. All this buying and selling in the middle of the day. Multiple screens worth of buying and selling. You're gonna have crazy days, folks. It's gonna be an amazing. Everyone that has it knows it. I mean, we get some crazy days. Some days you only did a couple trades. Hey, that's up to the market. For instance, today, look at today's move here. This coin's down 2.67%. It's a down day. Not likely you're going to sell. And then and this one's down 1.6%. This one's down 2.75%. This one's down 6.68%. Down over here, I put Bitcoin, even though I don't trade it, but I kind of like an index. I like to know what Bitcoin's doing. You can see Bitcoin's down 0.69%. You notice Bitcoin 0.69, not even 1%. At least here, you're getting moves. Look at that move. Look at that move. 2.75 up or down makes me a happy guy. 0.60, not exciting. 0.69, not exciting. I like big moves either way, because then that means I'm either selling big or I'm buying low big, which is great. Then you're gonna make so much more money trading these coins that give you lots of trades, and watch these numbers add up. In the long run, you can't lose unless the coin goes out of business, because you literally are just going to keep taking profits forever. And the software is designed, see current profits saved down here? All my profits go into that save bucket. So like this $290 right here, it goes straight into here. The principal goes back to the trader so the trader can trade with it, but the profits that it took go into the save bucket here. I got it set. The default is percent of profits to save, 100%. Save all my profits. Some people feel like, well, I want to compound with those and all. Yeah, but you know what? Throwing money into a market that's going straight down, all your profits, you're better off saving it and let it build up. I literally live off this save bucket. I have a Coinbase Visa card, and everywhere I go, man, I just pay with that. And every time I use it, what do I say, Edward?
It's the card that keeps on giving.
Exactly. And it's frozen in my brain. Every time I take that card and stick it in there to pay, I think to myself, the card that keeps on giving, it's just free money.
Well, another important aspect is that you talk about saving the profits for a rainy day for people to live on. I mean, this literally can build, like my analogy before when talking about buying a $200,000 property,
Or a
analyzing that,
$200,000 car.
or a $200,000 car and putting it in, and having $727,000 worth of profit in your sleep in 3 years. Now yes, 200,000 is a big number, but as a matter of, most people, if you own a house, there's no chance that you're buying a house these days for less than $200,000, right? So
Well,
my
not only
point,
that, the house is going up and down in value, but you have no spending money out of it. You got nothing. This
that's
is
correct.
money the auto trader's job is to make money that you can actually use, not
True.
just sit on it. Prices going up and you're not selling the coins, you have no money. It doesn't matter. You're watching an account get bigger, but you don't have any money to spend because if you sell
Right.
it, you have nothing.
Right.
Your auto traders are just going to keep grinding out money. It's in perpetuity, as Edward or Attila
Whether,
puts.
yeah, whether it's $1,000 you start with or $50,000 or whatever the number is, here's the point. The point is that your money in the bank, the fiat system that you're relying on, that we're all relying on, God help us, because you're putting your money in the bank, giving it to the bank for free to lend to somebody else, maybe even lending it back to you and making a whole lot of money on you in a debt-based system. In crypto, you have the opportunity to benefit from a asset-based system, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's trading, whatever the case may be. You are in the perfect time, in the perfect place. It could not be better. Mark my words. Watch this video 2 years from now, 3 years from now. We are at the bottom of the market that has been forced down by the big boys and big girls that want to chase all of the people out of the market, the people that have been in the market for the last 4 years, the hodlers. Yes, I hold some
They're in
crypto.
up here, the price is down here, and they're panic selling out.
That is correct. And why are they
Not
doing it?
GoBabyTrade users. We're feasting on these bottom prices. Like I'll trade down here forever. I don't care if it ever goes back up to where it was 3 years ago. I'm gonna keep taking money forever.
Here's another, let me ask you this. Your money in the bank, Ed, what are you making on a savings account? 50, 60, 70% a year?
That's a joke. I couldn't tell you what you make on a savings account in a
So,
bank because I don't have a savings account in a bank. I wouldn't
well,
do
let
it.
me give you a real quick lesson. If you're talking about every time the government prints money, they're debasing. Debasing means that they're eroding the purchasing power of your money. Oh, by the way, on the other end, so I live in Florida, so this is not a Gator for those of you that are Gator fans, right? This is the debasement. Every time they print money, the value of your purchasing power goes down. On the upside, the only one they ever talk about is inflation. What is inflation? Inflation is the worst eroder because you've got the value of the money going down, inflation, cost of goods going up, and the two will never meet. They will continue to diverge, which means that if you're not making, the real numbers are, if you're not making 15, 18, 20% on your money, which I don't know where else you can make it. This spits out triple digits for the last 4 years. But if you're not making 20% on your money, you're simply going broke
You're going under,
slowly
baby.
or quickly.
So
All I
look
can
at
tell
this.
you
I'm
is
listening.
that you have the opportunity to participate, not only participate in a asset-based increasing value. We are at the bottom of the market. Watch what happens if not in a micro setting, let's look at a macro setting. Let's look at prices that what they could be a year from now. Literally, all of this, your open positions, Ed. I'm going to venture to say that they are going to be all profits moving forward, but
Well,
still,
they
even
already were. They were just a couple months ago, and this one, like GRT, I was out of inventory, and then in the last month, it accumulated this inventory here. I
well,
mean, and
sit
and
tight.
then, but it doesn't matter because these profits never stop.
And again, we're since you started this trader in April of 2021, prices are down 90, maybe even more than that percent. So if you're in the market now, don't just be a buy and holder. If you have a favorite coin, XRP, everybody talks about XRP, everybody talks about Bitcoin. Sure, you can begin to accumulate, but do yourself a favor. If you're going to participate in this market, do it smartly. Do it where you can make money in your sleep. It literally just happens all by itself. This is not magic. What do you say, Ed? This is just prices going up and down. But
Right.
excuse me, this system allows you to take full advantage of it without any knowledge of the market, without any time or effort
Right.
away from your family to do it.
I've had
So,
people tell me, Ed, you saved my retirement. I've had people retire and just say, sell their whole businesses and just and go move to Florida. An anesthesiologist from New York sold the whole building and everything, his whole business in New York, and he moved to Florida and retired. And now he just runs his auto trader with millions of dollars. It's just making a fortune.
Well, I
But
can
here,
tell
look
you,
at this trade here. I think this is interesting. A few minutes ago, the auto trader bought ACH again. So look at these three trades. It did a buy at 6:03 in the morning, sold it at 11:52, and rebought it at 3:05 p.m. And look at here. You can see the shares match, so it's all the same. It bought it at 021.0213, sold it at 0.022, bought it back at 021. All it's doing is wiggling, and we're
so
just saying,
literally,
fine, I'll take free money. Now
literally
I got them
18 minutes
trapped down
ago.
right where they were this morning. Now they're back down here trapped again. They can't
Right.
go up without giving me money. I
Well,
love it. I feel evil.
you talk about changing, talk about changing, fundamentally changing the perspective of money and it becoming a tool for you, not just a survival school. You know, what does job mean? Just over broke, right? It's no wonder that society has been
Maybe that is really what. Don't you ever wonder where the acronym came from? Maybe that's what it does mean.
well, let me shine some light on that, and then we'll move into the question and answer. So, you know, most of the people online don't know, but I've shared it a couple of times, is I spent 32 years inside the matrix, meaning I served in the federal government as an agent for over 3 decades. I can tell you its purpose is to keep you controlled and keep you broke. So where did the word job come from? It started out as an acronym, which was thought to be a funny against all of us, which is just over broke. Everybody's heard it, but they didn't know where it came from. It actually came from the people you are relying on in the government to take care of you. Don't rely on that, please. What
Well,
you've
that's
done
like,
for what you've done for me, Ed, and like you've done for a lot of other people that have started participating in the trader, is you've given me a new perspective of the value of money. As I said before, one of the values of money to me, particularly as I employ the trader, is allows me to buy back my time. The only thing that I cannot make more of. I can make more money, and I've made a lot of money, and I've lost a lot of money, but I can't buy back more time. I've got a 10-year-old that I'm investing in that I want to. You talked about passing a legacy, passing the legacy of a fully funded trader.
Right.
yeah,
Oh
That's
yeah.
that's tough.
I
that's
know
the
That's,
way
you
to
get
go.
emotional when you talk about that stuff. I know,
yeah.
because really it's the truth, it changes. It does. It's a life changer is what it is.
It is. It is
It
truly a life changer.
literally changes your life. You no longer look at the world the same.
No,
It's just you got this thing that just, because money seems to everybody says, oh, money's not everything and all that. Yeah, yeah, that's all rich people that say that kind of stuff, because they got so much of it,
No,
but
it's
there's
correct, Ed. It's correct. Ed, money's not everything, but it's right up there with oxygen.
right. It is right up there.
You know what I mean? Money is a good thing. It's cool to have a lot of it, and why shouldn't we? Considering we spend our whole life in the pursuit of it, you would think that we might as well do it right.
Right.
Just do it
True.
Okay.
right. That's all. You
Okay.
don't have to kill yourself. You
Ex
turn on an auto trader, you feed it
right.
money. And I can tell you what a lot of people do. Money from all over. Once you see what your trader does, and many of you on here know what I'm talking about if you have a trader, you start looking for where can I find more money to put in.
Right.
And I even have a blog out there on the website where I say, don't mortgage your house. Because people are doing stuff like that. They're mortgaging their house to get more money to throw into the trader. Because the more money it has, the more money it makes. And,
But
and I try to slow people down, actually. I'm like, don't worry. In the long run, you're just going to keep grinding money out like crazy anyways. You don't need to do anything radical.
I'm making an
I,
executive
I, I
call here.
personally, I personally can't think of a better place to put the money that I make. So
Oh, yeah. Why? It's a great place to park your money and watch it grow. What were you saying, Attila? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I'm saying I'm making an executive decision. We're going to Q&A right now because we
All
got
right.
30 minutes. We got 30 minutes to answer like 15 questions.
Let's
So,
go.
yep.
Edward, you
Speed
want to
round.
start it off?
Yes. Dan says the software is definitely creating cash flow. Each sale is a line item on my stock recording. do you recommend a software do you recommend a software take the trade, put on the correct tax form? Okay, not
We
sure
don't give tax
exactly.
advice. We don't give,
He's
let me,
talking.
let me grab that one. Let me grab that
Yep.
one. This is real simple, folks. First of all, we don't give tax advice. Second of all, there's nothing, absolutely zero, that the trader has to do with taxes of any kind, reporting, or any statements you would need. Taxes in the world of digital money revolution, meaning blockchain, crypto, AI, is always 100% of the time a function of your exchange. That's why
Right.
Coinbase and Kraken provide you with that statement at the end of the year. Okay, next question.
All
I
right.
think he was talking about Coinbase One though, that you can for $30 a month, Coinbase has this feature called Coinbase One,
Yeah,
and they generate the tax form 88 something. If you go to Coinbase, you'll see it. They
I think,
actually match the buys with the sells. It's something you can turn in with your taxes already
Yep.
for you. That's
yeah,
I thought
but
that's what
Yep.
he meant.
Yeah, I'm not going to give advice, but I will say this: Crypto Casey, go search on Crypto Casey's video. She recommends a CPA that she uses that is very, very, very crypto savvy that will give you a very enlightening view of how cryptos are treated as far as taxes are concerned. That's
yeah,
all I'll say on that. But there's a huge advantage of you being in crypto and staying in crypto. If you want, if so, I'm going to post here in a second. Excuse me, 2 support emails. We forgot to mention that that RCT Marketing Systems are Attila and I, and we are direct support to Crypto Casey's audience on a more technical basis. Ed and his crew are technically based and will answer any questions that you might have about the trader. If you have a question about and want to talk to Crypto Casey's recommendation, at least getting some advice on your crypto portfolio, then send us a note and we'll send you that information. So that's
yeah.
really all that we can share.
Why don't you post those emails, and while you're doing that, I'll grab the question from Beyond
Yep.
Money.
All right, very good.
So Beyond Money has a question, Ed. He says, I was formerly part of a crypto trading bot that operated via API with Kraken. Hackers exploited the API and traded our value for the valueless token they already held and sold their holdings in that token to extract our value. How is this API/bot connection different that would mitigate that risk?
Great question.
Well, all right, we don't the connection you create with GoBabyTrade with Kraken, the API connection you create with Kraken or with Coinbase, the auto trader has the ability to using that API. The auto trader has the ability to see your account and to send orders to it. Buy this, sell this, buy this, sell this. The exchange doesn't even know what you're doing. They just see orders coming at it and they fill the orders. So GoBabyTrade never touches your money. And we certainly, there's no provision within our software for sharing anything you're doing or anything. And plus, there's a thing called the level 2 screen. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Am I still sharing, or mind if I share real
Yeah,
fast?
Yeah, you are sharing.
All right. Whoops. Oh, I am sharing. So where did that come from? How do I minimize this? How do I get you off my screen? I'll stop sharing for a second and then I'll put it back. I think I'll just jump right to the trader. All right. You see this L2 here? This is the level 2 data. There's a lot of manipulation in the market. Let's see if I can't stop it for a second. All right, you see this amount of shares right here? Like down here. You have a price. You have the best bid and best ask price. Usually, everyone sees these two numbers. There's the best bid, and there's the best ask. Right there, those two numbers.
Awesome.
And this is the price, but look at the shares. This says at this price, it's only offering 101.5 shares. Whereas this next, so if you want to sell or more than that, it's going to drop the price down. So you're going to get less because it's going to have to go to this next one. And the same thing when things are going up. If you want to buy, say I want to buy 20,000 shares, well, this is 7,700 shares. That's another 3,700. That's 10,000. Or 10, 15, it might have to go all the way up here. So you see the price keeps going higher and higher and higher. The auto trader doesn't look at these prices down here to say this is the best bid and ask. It based on the amount of shares that it knows it's going to trade. It goes up to that point. It adds all these up and it goes to that. I mean, I'm sharing proprietary stuff with you. Nobody else does this. I can
Yeah,
almost guarantee it.
agreed.
And so we know where the real price is. So sometimes you'll see a price on your screen. I'm gonna close that now. You might see a price on the screen and say, "Well, the price is here, and how come my profit should be that? How come I didn't take profit when the price reached that?" It's like, no, that's the price of the coin right now, right where you're looking at. But the actual price you would actually get filled at is much lower, and you would actually be selling it at a loss, not at a profit. See what I'm saying? So there's a lot more to this. This is where 25 years of dedication comes in. I live inside these things and I have picked these things apart. And I know what works and what doesn't. And that's the advantage we have that I have, and I'll be honest about it, over everyone else. They don't, they didn't automate the stock market. All these bots came out when the cryptos came out. I was the only auto trader, fully robotic trader in the stock world for
Huh,
21 years.
wow.
To this day, actually, nobody does that. When I
Uh,
automated
but
TD Ameritrade in 2006, when they called me out of the blue and say, "Will you connect your auto trader to us?" I said, "How do you even know me? I'm only word of mouth." And his answer was, "You're real." That was just I can't get that out of my head. I'll take that with me till I die. That was a beautiful response. You're
that,
real.
that,
What a
that,
compliment.
that was a beautiful compliment for sure. You've told that story before, but let me add one more thing on to what the person that just asked that question, what we don't know is the setup and the situation that he or she had with that bot and the API connection. Did he or she have to send their crypto funds over to a third party? And did that third party do the API with that bot? Because then you lose control. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and
Yeah.
another thing, there's another thing, Attila, that the level 2 screen brings to the table here is when I started automating the market, before I even really released my auto trader yet in 2001, when I first started developing it, I went to a prop house, a professional trading house, where all these professional traders are sitting around in there. And because I was out on a hunt, so I want to know what people know. And I'm doing my homework. So I'm sitting in there. I bought some Microsoft. And then I'm very vocal. I said, "Hey, how do I sell? How do I know when to sell this Microsoft I just bought?" And somebody came up on my right shoulder and he says, "That's easy." And he was pointing at the level 2 screen. And he said, "You see that guy's price right there? Sell it right under him." I said, "Oh my God, they're looking at our orders. If you float that limit order in public view, they're taking advantage of you." Now, in your case, it's possible that they might be looking. I don't know who created, like Attila said, the API and what they're doing on their software, whether they're working against you. They could be taking advantage of their clients. I don't have anything that looks at. I don't look at people's accounts and
Yeah.
do any aggregate calculations and all that kind of
Well,
stuff to figure out how I can take advantage of you, stuff like that. I would never do that. I can't say others people wouldn't.
very clear, but the gentleman, I believe it's a gentleman that, I don't know. Beyond Money is a title, so it's a he or a she, but they came back and they said, Kraken, they said, that's understood. It was the same case with my previous experience. Um, the issue was the API was hacked. Kraken even admitted that their API was hacked. I believe they have upgraded their API security since then. So that's what he or she came back with. So good question. Okay, he said he's a he, so thank you for saying that because I couldn't tell.
Mhm.
So anyway, Edward, I'll get the next one here, and then you could get the one after that. So John is
Sure, my apologies, I just got a quick comment. So,
sure.
the APIs to Kraken and Coinbase that are issued from and controlled by GoBabyTrade have never been hacked.
Right.
No, no way. No, we
Correct.
don't even float limit orders in public view. The auto trader tracks everything. All the numbers, we track, the software tracks it all. The broker doesn't even, nobody out there knows what you're doing, man. You're invisible. Yeah, I mean, literally, they just see orders coming at them.
Yep.
And
Sorry,
they
Attila.
don't know what you're doing at all.
Yep.
Yep.
Go right ahead, Attila.
Okay, no problem. So John is asking, how do you have more than one account on Coinbase without them shutting you down? You can only supposedly have only one
Husband account, wife account.
Yeah, it's
You don't
one.
necessarily.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't. I mean, you can do. I mean, I know people that have 4 accounts.
one trader per account, though. So, for
Well,
example,
with an auto trader, yeah, one trader can only trade 1 account. However, in Coinbase, there's a thing called
Portfolio.
portfolios. You can. I mean, I've got husband, wife, 2 kids, not me. Other people other families that have auto traders. They bought 4 auto traders, and they created a portfolio in Coinbase for each one. Husband, mom account, mom portfolio, dad portfolio, Josette portfolio. It's not Josette, but each kid. And then, so really, the husband created 1 account. And then he created 4 separate portfolios, and he creates the API keys, a separate API key for each portfolio. So then he's got 4 auto traders running, trading all those, and it's all done in 1 Coinbase account.
yep. And don't forget, folks, you could have a personal account and a business account. Just
Yeah, and so
FYI.
you can have Coinbase accounts, you can have Kraken accounts.
Yeah. Okay. Edward, you want to grab the next one?
Sure, Jen, this, we may have addressed this, I apologize, but we'll go over it again. Are there any stop loss percentages built into this? I'm assuming you're speaking to the trader in the settings that could be adjusted by the users. Good news, no stop loss. It will only
We
buy,
don't sell at a loss.
it will only
Change the
buy,
name.
right? It will only
I
buy
asked.
and
Oh, go ahead.
it will only buy, it will never sell to losses. I think I had mentioned earlier on that the system is programmed purposely to never sell at a loss. It collects inventory. If the price goes down temporarily, it is hold inventory, but there's never a stop loss. There's no catching a falling knife.
See, so if the price goes lower, see this 1 lot, this is where the action is now. But if the price drops lower and you hold that one, and then the action's down here, I'm still holding that loser. It doesn't matter, because when a coin goes up there, you'll sell it all off. Just like on January 27th, I sold all that ACH inventory, all those lots. I call each purchase, each one of these a lot, 1 lot. I sold, man, all those lots I sold off in 4 days. You know, so I never sell at a loss, ever.
Okay, Luann asks, on the trade, the highest trade count of the month of May 2025, it shows 34. I'm not sure which one you're pointing to. Maybe it's the top. Does that mean it only had only open and closed trades 34 times that month? That seems quite low for being a top traded crypto, and
That's a
all the
lot.
people that
No, it's not
that
low.
right. It is a lot. And it's not just to clarify, it's not an open and a close. So it's not a round turn. It is
A close.
a closed profitable trade. And again, it's only going to count because it only counts profitable trades because there are no losses because the system does not sell at a loss. That account will only go up based on profitable trades.
You know, it's up to the market to dictate things. You see, today's a down day. So if you're not selling anything, say you didn't sell the ACH, ACH wiggled a little so it was able to buy and sell on the same day. Doge, look, I haven't had any trades today other than those ACH. Dogecoin didn't wiggle enough to take any trades. GRT didn't wiggle enough to take other, it didn't even buy yet. If I click on the plus, it'll actually show me when it's going to buy. This expands it to the individual lots. I can see all the lots that I own for each coin. And it says if the price, here's the current price, 0985. It's telling me right up here, next estimated trade price is 0.0865. It's got to drop to that number, 0865, before it buys more. Until it drops to that, it's not going to do anything. It's going to sit. Now, however, it's at 0985 right now, and it's telling me here, if it goes to 10 cents to 1049 right here, price target profit goal, it's actually telling me when it's going to take profit also. See, this is not a black box. This isn't random numbers here. This is precision. It knows exactly where it's going to buy. It knows exactly where it's going to sell and take that profit. So I'm just saying that those numbers, and let's talk percentages, returns. Some people feel like they got to make $1,000 a day and they're trading with a $10,000 account. It's like, what would the percentage return be after a year on a $10,000 account if you were making $1,000 a day? Every 10 days, you'd be doubling your money. You would be richer than Warren Buffett in a year. It's like these expectations that some people have are out of whack with reality. Let's look at a trade report. Do you mind if we look at it for a second, Attila?
No,
Because
go
I know
ahead.
you're watching the
Just
clock.
make it quick if you can, but no problem.
All right. Well, you don't even have to. I mean, a 477% return is enough. 255% return in a year. That's enough. Even, even if we scroll down further, 113% in a year. It's enough. You're doubling your money every year. You don't need, some people want to make 3,000% in a year. That's gambling territory. Take that to Vegas. Put all your money, go to the roulette wheel, put all your money, every paycheck on 00 and spin that wheel. That's gambling. This is not a gambling system. This is a 7-Eleven without the bricks and mortar. You have no overhead. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to hire people to run the register. You don't have to stock shelves. You don't have to lease a building. You don't have to do all that work. And this is a 7-Eleven exactly without the bricks and mortar. And we only sell the stuff that really moves. I look at each of these things like a product. These are chips. This is Butterfingers. These are hot dogs, whatever. Look at it like that one. It's each
You're making me
product.
hungry, Ed.
I know. I'm thinking of having a hot dog for dinner or lunch, whatever. I'm actually smelling hot dogs now, man. But I'm just saying, you don't have to gamble. Take the mystery out of it. And if you go to other websites where they say, "Oh, we guarantee 100% a month return," stuff like that, they're blowing smoke. It's not even possible because unless you know what a coin's going to do in advance, that's called putting all your money in at once and praying that it goes up. Where we don't do that. The software does the money management, so it does what it needs to do. If the market wants to give me a 500% return in a year, I'll take it. Thank you. But I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to try to make something like that happen. It only takes what the market wants to give. And we have big days, big months. I mean, what you said there was it doesn't look like a lot of trades, but there's 645 trades that month. Here's 445 trades that month. It happens. It's up to the market, though. It's not up to you. You can't dictate to the market. The market doesn't care what you think.
Let me add some perspective to the 34. So if you owned only that one coin, only that 1 month, the month of May, and it's sold at let's assume, well, the bare minimum it's going to take in profit is 3%. It could be as high as 33%. Let's just use the 3. If you own that coin in the month of May, you made 102% on your money. I don't know. So let me bring people down.
But look at reality here. You see this May last month, the coin prices in the last month literally got cut in half of what they were a month ago. the prices got cut in half. If you look at the numbers going all the way down this column compared to April, look at the drop in trades, closed trades. They were dramatically lower on most of them. Look at this one got cut in half. This one got even cut more than in half in trades. It was a slow month. It happens, you know, but then you have killer months where look at January of 2025. Look at all those numbers going down the whole thing. It was a big month. That's the way the market does. You have big months, you have slow months. It's up to the market,
Right.
not up to you. You
Yeah,
don't
Let me,
100% a year you do standing on your head. That's 8% a month. It's a joke. You can do that with small numbers. You don't need huge numbers of trades.
but let me add some perspective to our crazy talk, right? Where else can you expect, not expect, actually get these types of returns? You heard me talk, an hour and a half ago about if you're not making 20% on your money, you're just going broke slowly. If you're not making 10% on your money, you're going broke really fast. If you believe what's happening in the current fiat system is going to benefit you, I don't know where else you can put your money. And this is not a sales pitch. This is facts that we're presenting. This is not some sales pitch that says, "Oh, hang on a second, you're going to be able to buy, your place in the Riviera next month." All we're communicating to you is there is a better place to employ your money. Attila, you
No, these are
normally
good
talk about this.
questions, though, Edward. These are
But these are
very
great
good
questions. These are
questions.
great questions. I'm just adding perspective because I've seen it. I've seen it in action. I've seen it work for me and my family. Right. So these are hit yourself in the forehead moments where people really just have to look at the position that they're currently in and how could they be in a better position. Yeah, Attila, you've mentioned, you've not mentioned it this evening yet, that if your money's not making money on itself while you're sleeping, then
yeah.
you're going to grind it out until you die. That was a Warren Buffett quote.
Yeah, Warren Buffett said that if you're not making money while you sleep, you're going to work till you die. And also, the way I put it is, most people can only work so hard. You only have so much elbow grease, right, to grind it out. So you got to make money while you sleep. You got to multiply your money. So I call it your money's unemployed. And if your money's unemployed, we have a responsibility, each one of us, to give our money a job. What's the money? What's the responsibility of our money? What is that job? That job is to multiply itself. How do you multiply itself in the easiest fashion possible? In our humble opinion, it's
Keep it
using
out
an
of a
auto
bank.
trader like this, where you could do it where you don't, it's hands off. It's literally set it and forget it. You're making money in your sleep. In my estimation, you can't beat that. You really can't. Now, Edward, before you ask Jen's questions, a nice comment came in at 3:30 from Eastern time from Lady M. She said, just a quick comment. It's a brilliant program. I can confirm. I spent the past 3 months analyzing the trader with multiple coins, and I'm a very happy client. I'm eternally grateful to Ed Barsano for his genius. Lady
Thank you,
M,
Lady M.
we thank you so much for your patronage.
You
So,
know, I like to hear that stuff, and I appreciate it
Uh-oh.
because I am the youngest of 6 kids, and I
Oh
always
no.
have to be patted on my back. Eddie, you're doing good. I like to hear that. It helps
Yeah,
yeah.
it does
Okay,
help.
because then I
go
know
ahead.
I'm on the right track.
Correctamundo. Edward?
Yes. So Jen, so if you're saving 100% of your profits, then why does the current profit saved of $131,945 equal the total profit taken of?
All right. I know, Attila, you know the question is asked, so I can't. I'm sorry you're in a hurry, but I do have to answer it.
Go ahead.
All right. Number one, I'm spending that money out of my profits saved like crazy. I live on the credit card. I bought a $200,000 car a few months ago, you know. So anyways, it's just free money sitting there. But besides that, For the first 2 years, I wasn't saving any profits at all. I had it set to zero, save 0%. But
Yeah.
my wife was saving 100% of hers in her account, and she was grilling me. We've been married 43 years, so she's allowed to grill me. I'm used to it now. But she's always right, in all honesty. Um, and so I followed her. I watched her. We debated on it for a whole year, and I was saying I was under the model of everybody else, compound earnings thinking, use that money, and she's like, yeah, but you're throwing it into a black hole. You're reinvesting the money. Like I always tell you guys, the software's job is to make money. How you spend it is on you. Well, I chose to throw my money into a black hole while the market was crashing, as opposed to saving it. And then so that's why I didn't have all the profits sitting in the save bucket. But when you do have all the profits sitting in the save bucket, that really holds that account value up. That really, all those profits that aren't being used are holding that account value higher because you're not using the money. So I was blowing the money as fast as I was earning it too. So, and you know what? It's free money. What are you doing? You're gonna give me $13,000 a month to just throw away. What am I gonna do with it? You might as well spend it. You know, I love to have a big bucket of money here, man, because you never know. Your car might break down, whatever. You got money, go out and just you actually. I actually had this discussion with Crypto Casey a couple of weeks ago when she came out here, and we were talking about that. And you do get a different perspective on life when you have an auto trader just throwing money at you. That normally, who has that? Who has money, just free money? And that's
Nobody.
basically what I call it, is just free money. I can't spend it. I mean, a month ago, I mean, it took 17,000 in a month, and the numbers, and it's all up to the market. This is a slow month. The month of May was a very slow month. I mean,
Mhm.
I've had $30,000 months, and people with big accounts, they kill it. But really, you got to think in percentages. 100% a year, 200% a year. Those are good numbers. Numbers like, hey, the wealthy would love this auto trader. That's why I've got it set to a maximum number of the amount of money each trader can trade is $2 million. And don't think I haven't been grilled by people with 10 million telling me, come on, why can't you? It's just a number. Why can't you raise it? And I tell them straight out, because this system was created for regular people, normal people like me and you and all these other normal people in the world, not for the rich. The rich, they've already been taking advantage of us long enough. Now it's time to pay. Now they want to make money, we make money. No more free ride. When that market wiggles, we're taking our profits. No more sitting around and letting them take all the money while we continue working our jobs. No more. No more free ride for them. Guy with $10 million, he could buy 5 auto traders for all I care. I
Well
mean,
said.
he doesn't get to just have one auto trader and put 10 million in it.
Right.
Well,
I mean, you can buy more auto traders. So my comment is
Yeah.
is yeah, you've heard it's better than sliced bread. Forget about the sliced bread. You can own the bakery.
true that.
So,
Okay.
all
So
right.
Edward, why don't you ask Jen's follow-up question?
Yep. Jen, I hope I'm not going to butcher it, so we'll work through it. So I've seen this question asked a bunch of times in the Telegram threads and I'm in, so I'd love to be able to clear this up for everybody. I'm assuming in
Out
there,
there. Out there.
out there. I'll use his current screenshot. Some of the market value, 550K. Some of the open balance, open position P&L, negative 575K, a
This
loss. Right? Let
It's
me
not a
start there.
loss, it's just down
So
in value.
correct. It's
But look
just
at how many lots. That's 42 lots. See those lots right there, 42?
right.
That's sitting on a lot of inventory. That's
Right.
42 buys that are underwater. It's okay.
Right.
Because
Dan,
when
what do
it
you
goes up
say?
there, I'm going to make a fortune. Watch how fast that turns around. 20 of those lots can disappear
So,
in one day. So watch.
yeah, what I'll say is it's an unrealized loss. the market is so, I'll use violently volatile. And as we're turning towards a more positive market, what I can almost promise you, I'm not going to guarantee because there are no guarantees, but if you're watching the trend in the market, you're going to see violent upturns and violent wiggles. Mr. Barsano, as he was showing his open trades, there's things that ACH, the ACH example, 254% profit in 5 days. That, and considering each position was bought, or each lot was bought at a 3% dip in the market, there was a whole lot of inventory, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in inventory that literally sold off automatically in a big, what I call a blip. That's going to happen a lot. So,
and this number never goes down. It will go up for the rest of your life. They can't. This number here, the open positions P&L, it's a limit to how. Look, this coin was 33 cents not too long ago, a few months back. It's at 10 cents, just about 10 cents. It dropped a lot. But so don't worry. Watch when it goes back to 33 cents. All this goes to zero. And this will jump to 400,000. You watch.
Yeah, we're in a position,
and I'm in no rush. That's the beauty of it.
It's a life trader, which
I got them trapped forever. So they got the price all the way down here on that coin. They can never raise it, and for nobody in the world. Because when that price jumps like that, I got you. They're gonna pay, and they have to pay, and that's it. No more free
good
ride.
Perspective. This is a life trader. Don't look at So what do you normally say, Ed, on the open positions? That's just numbers going up and down. But nobody can ever take the $900 and plus $1,000 in profit. Literally,
that's mine. Nobody can ever take that back from me.
And remember, 3.5 years ago, you started with 200,000, right? You're at a $727,000 profit. If the world would end today, well,
I'm still. They can't take that profit away from me ever.
Right, ever, right?
You know what I'm doing here with my fingers? These are lots, individual lots, right? Down is good. These are phrases I use a lot. Remember, Edward, you put that on a T-shirt, you got to put my name under it because I made this up.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna start sending your face on a T-shirt to everybody that buys the trader.
Down is good. Down is not bad. Down is great. Because the lower you buy something, the more money you make on the rise. I don't want these coins going to the moon. I want them to sit right where they're at and give me money until I die. This is an annuity, man. So down is good. And a well-seasoned auto trader has lots of down inventory. That's where the money is. Because when a coin jumps 20 or 30%, and we all see it, you always have these crazy up days where a coin will jump 20%. All these lots, so many of these lots all sell off in one day on a big move. Whereas if you don't have any inventory and all you have is one lot, coin jumps 20%, fine, you made 20% on one lot. I got all this inventory. Anytime there's a big move, I got a lot of inventory that I sell off. The more inventory I have, these numbers, 17 lots, 19 lots, 42 lots, 29 lots, that is a well-seasoned auto trader. You folks, when you first start out, you're only going to have one lot on each one. So when a big move happens, yeah, you'll make some good money on one lot. What if you were sitting on 3 lots or 5 lots and you get a big move? You sell all that inventory off at once. It's like 5 20% moves, not just one 20% move.
Right. So yeah, Jen, you're not missing anything.
You'll learn all this. The longer you have it, all this stuff starts to really make sense.
Yep. And yep, you're probably putting eyes on this for the first time or maybe the second time. So you're not missing anything, but look at these numbers. So if you look at the total profit taken, remember, started with $200,000, has taken 700, considering minus the 200, $727,000 plus off the table. By the way, he mentioned, and we won't ask the number of every time he puts his card in to go buy you mentioned you bought a $200,000 car. You pay for your groceries. This is you mentioned an annuity. Great word. That this is a process and a system that literally keeps paying you for doing nothing other than investing your original capital. So even if
How
you
many
look
of
at
you, how many of you shop at Amazon?
me,
Man, I'm telling you, if I didn't get an Amazon delivery every day, they'd be calling up to do a wellness check on us. I mean, it's you know, you get crazy when it's free money, you know.
Yeah.
You don't even care anymore. You lose the
Yeah,
value
yeah.
of it.
Good.
You know, and you'll
Good.
be there. You will be there. You know, anyone that's running an auto trader can vouch for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're looking through the lenses of a brand new perspective that no one, I think I said no one has ever given you these lenses to look at the market this way. And it's all done for you. It's all done for you. So absorb it, take it for what it is, do your own research. We give you those reports. I'll post again Crypto Casey's discount link. You can click on that without buying. You can do the research. You can look at the high trade account report. You can look at the top 50 traders and all the money that's being made. That's all real money. It's
Those are
fully
all real
audited.
numbers anyways. Nobody's
It's
playing with
just
that stuff's right out of the database.
right.
You
There's
know,
nothing made up.
for those of you who I heard earlier, someone mentioned about a stop loss. The original robotic trader for stocks that I had used to use stop losses. And you know what I called that indicator on the screen? Lock-in loss. I didn't call it a stop loss. I called it a lock-in loss. Somebody called me up and said, "What's that lock-in loss?" I said, "Well, that's if the coin went, you bought it higher and it went down and you want to lock in that loss." He said, "Isn't that a stop loss?" See what I mean? I automated the market. I'm like, what the heck is a stop loss? How are you stopping something that you don't even know what it's going to do next? He's like, "Well, that's in case it goes lower. I'm stopping the loss." You're stopping something that hasn't even occurred.
Right.
I mean, no, you mean you're locking in the loss.
Right.
Hey, Ed, I got to say, I've got a flight to catch in less than I got to
Okay.
head to the airport to catch a flight in about an hour. So I got to bow out, but I'm going to say this. We're here every single Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So we encourage you, like Edward just said, DYOR, do your own research. When you go to Crypto Casey's link that was disseminated about an hour ago into the chat, you've got a whole bunch, a slew of links that you could click on. There's videos. There's the highest trade count. There is all kinds of resources. There's a blog. So even before you pull the trigger and get the $1,000 discount, comparing to if you just went to Mr. Barsano's site, it's $1,000 more there. If you want to pay that, go ahead. But I would suggest use Crypto Casey's link. If you have any questions, Edward put the 2 support emails into the chat as well. We'll see you again. I'll see you again next Wednesday. And I got to bow out. So Edward and Ed, great job as always.
Yep.
Wish I could stay till the end, but not today. So
All
No
right.
worries, no worries. Safe travels. We're
Thank
down to 2 questions from Bernie and then some
Hey, we
final
want
comments.
pictures. We want pictures of your trip.
yeah, that'll be forthcoming. Take care, guys.
Yeah.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
All right. God bless you, Attila.
Have
Stay
fun.
safe.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye
now.
Ed, we've got Bernie that's got and actually he was asking Attila directly, but we can handle this. Bernie's asking, can you get into the settings, please? So if you would please go into the
Sure.
settings, because he also has a follow-up question, and then we're all set. We'll like Moses said, let my people go. We'll
All right.
hopefully watch you.
How do I get your face off my screen?
My face off your
Well, I got
screen?
your face in the middle of the whole screen.
So I don't know. You're actually you might have to stop share and then reshare.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So we'll go over the settings. Yeah, let me get rid of that one. And then Bernie as a follow-up is saying, can I reset settings during the month easily? So yes and yes. We'll show you that in just a second. Ed, go right ahead.
Change. I'm trying to figure out how to get your face off my screen. I made it big and then it went and stayed there.
Just stop sharing and then reshare like you did earlier. And then my face won't be there. I mean, what is it? My complexion?
Well, somebody asked me, you know, what if I die? And I used to say that. What is it, my complexion? Why are you always asking me? Why are people asking me if I'm going to die?
All right, why don't I do this? Why don't I unshare you, but you're still gonna have to say
All right, go ahead.
you're still gonna have to stop presenting, right?
Okay.
So hit stop sharing.
I think I'm already.
No, you're still
I don't
your
see how
account is
to.
still
Oh, wait a
your
minute. Now I remember now. The stop sharing. I wasn't clicking it. Sorry.
right. There you go. Now
All
you
right.
can
Now I'm
reshare
not
it.
sharing. And now I am sharing. Thank you. You're a genius.
No.
See what I mean? You know, as my wife puts it sometimes, she said, "You're the dumbest genius I ever met." All right. Yeah,
All
let's
right.
go to the settings. Under the
Yeah.
menu, you can click select currencies or edit strategy. We'll just jump into the edit strategy here. There's videos, by the way, on every page. Like there's a video up here that talks about this top section and this expanding and showing you all the coins that are available in your trader. And then there's a video down here that talks about this section where you're putting in the coins. If you want to, you can tell it to, you can uncheck allow sell. You can tell it to allow buy, but don't let it sell. You can, sometimes you don't want to trade that coin anymore. You can just say stop it from buying, but let it sell as it becomes profitable. And so then you go down below here and you got another video for the settings section. The settings are only one page. My original trader that goes all the way back to 2000, the original trader I had that was downloadable software, had 10 screens of things you could do. Total gambling for anyone wanted to dream about gambling. 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up, I call it. This one has one screen of settings and it's all about give me the money, show me the money. And you know,
All
taking
right, Jay
profits, that's
McGuire.
what it's all about. It's just give me money. One little screen. It's got AI as enabled. You can see I don't let you disable the AI because there's no reason. AI cannot harm you in any way. It can only help. These next three here are designed to slow down the trader. Cryptos move differently than stocks. Stocks move along, prices go up and down gradually. Cryptos jump around. A coin can go up
Violently.
20% in 1 minute and drop 20% the next. Cryptos jump around. So you want to slow down, let the market breathe, let it go where it wants to go, then jump in when it after, you know, when it's made some nice moves. You don't want to just make, yeah, I don't want to sell something at 3% gain, you know, and if it's going to go up 19% 10 seconds later, let it jump around, and take advantage of those moves. The next one is I've got mine set to take profits if it reaches 10,000. You know, the default is $100. The thing is, there's a thing on the screen that says, you know, the reason, remember it showed on the other screen why it traded, and you get these things in here where, like if I go down here, let me just see if I can see, I fine-tuned it so it won't do it as often. It used to do it a lot. Like, see this, take this dollar amount if reached. See, I used to have it set at $500 and then and I'm like, I'm cutting off my profits. See these? Because it wanted to probably go to $1,000. Instead, I cut it off at 500. And so you know, you want it to hit those marks sometimes, but you don't want to be hitting it every day. So you slowly raise that up if you feel like you need to raise it. So you
Yeah,
don't want
and by the way, there's no harm in raising that number. It
can't hurt you at all. Yeah,
right,
it's okay.
the system is going to take all the profit it can.
It's gonna take the 3% anyways, you know, when it can, but sometimes a coin will do some crazy big jump and you'll make $500 on one trade. And then in that case, I want to just lock it in because that could be a big, that says we got a big bump And that big bump's going to turn into a big drop real fast. So grab that money.
Right.
Don't wait. So that's what that's about. It's about, this is a way to say, hey, if I hit that mark on one trade, give it to me. Don't wait for pullbacks. I mean, here you got a 3% profit goal set. You know, it's a simple 3%. You don't want to put a big number here. Some people say, well, why not 10%? Well, you're going to miss the 3% moves, the 4% moves, the 5s, the 6% moves, the 7% moves, the 8% moves. You're going to miss all that action in the middle there while you're waiting for a big jump. Keep it low. But you don't need it to go to 1% or 2% because it's because then you're cutting your profits too early. So 3% seems to be the sweet spot. The other thing is, a lot of times, those of you stock traders through the years, right? When a coin or a stock is going higher and you're profitable, you'll wait for a small pullback before you get out. Kind of let it ratchet higher until it pulls back a quarter or something. That's what this bottom one is, pull back after reaching goal. The problem is you don't need it, because if I'm already profitable and I call the AI and I say, AI, is that going to go higher? And the AI says no, then just give me the money. Why do I need to wait for a pullback? I already know if the AI says it's not going higher, not in the next few minutes. It may go higher tomorrow, but nobody can predict. You know, there's AI can't tell you what a coin's going to do the next day. It's only good for about 20 minutes out, because it's looking at the entire universe of what's going on in the market, the entire market behavior of the overall market.
Yeah, one thing you didn't mention this week, Ed, that's important, that gives people a level of understanding is to the sophistication of the AI, and it's not only its maturity, but the fact that you have given it the job of monitoring all 27 indicators.
Right.
Right. So the separate AI understands that universe, which is why it can make millisecond decisions. That a coin goes up, 5% 5 minutes from now, and then then it takes the profit, and after it sells, it drops, 3, 4, 5, 10%. It will go right back and buy it back. But there's no problem with it locking in the profits.
No, you want to lock in profits. Don't be greedy. Don't worry about it. Those profits add up. Hey, a grocery store sells candy bars and stuff. I mean, in a 7-Eleven. I mean, what are they making on a candy bar? Remember in our days, some of you might remember the nickel candy bars. Where'd they go? Now they're $1. Or maybe even $3. I've seen some crazy prices out there. But you don't need, grocery stores make like 2% on stuff. They sell a bottle of ketchup for $4 and they make 8 cents. I'm like, seriously. The name of the game is how many bottles did I sell, and how am I turning inventory?
That's
Am I
right.
selling, a lot? Not raising the price of a bag of potato chips to $50 doesn't mean you're going to make a lot more money. It just means you're going to sell a lot less potato chips.
Yeah,
Because
it
I'm not
sounds
paying
crazy.
$50 for a bag of potato chips.
It sounds crazy, but the trader is not concerned about how much it goes up or how much it goes down. It takes advantage of both sides of the trade. It literally, I know most of what you've been exposed to, if it's your first time hearing this, literally defies logic. But it is the most logical thing you can possibly think of. Your analogy of the 7-Eleven stores, one buying it and locking the door, and then one just turning as much inventory as you possibly could turn. Consider yourself, you're in the game of turning inventory. You don't care what it is. You don't care what the symbol is. You don't care how it does it. You don't care how many times it turns, as long as it turns a lot. But with the $1 billion report, you already have some magical information that nobody else has access to.
Oh, can I go here real fast and show this? What I'm going to do in this report here, I always improve this report, right? Each month I try to add new stuff. I'm putting the link on this symbol names where on any one, you'll be able to just click it. It'll take you right to that company's website. So you don't have to go hunting for it. You don't have to go to CoinMarketCap and all that. One click takes you to their actual website. The next thing I'm also going to add is another column here that's going to say, what type of coin is it? Is it an NFT? Is it a utility coin? A utility coin is something that really produces something, that company. Or is it what's the other one? Meta. A meta?
No, meme coin, which
Meme.
means it
A
has,
meme coin. It'll say meme.
yeah,
So
it
it's actually going to
theoretically
tell you,
doesn't
because
have
a lot of
value.
people don't want to trade meme coins. I've been hearing lately, and I'm like, they're like, yeah, I don't want to trade meme coins. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should show me the meme coins, and so you'll know what these coins are if So those are the two enhancements I'm going to add to this report at the end of this month. So you see, I'm always doing updates, always improving things on both sides, on the server side, on the internals of things, and also the reports and the trader itself. It's a constant improvement. But
Well,
back to these rules. Do not close lots that will be immediately reopened. It's telling it, if the software knows it's just going to buy it right back, then don't close it, because if you close it, it's telling you it's just going to buy it right back. So if it knows it's going to buy it right back, then why close it? All you're doing is giving fees to the exchange, because you're just going to buy, trader's going to buy it right back. However, it is going to have this pause here, 60 minutes between the buy and the sell, or between buys, excuse me. When it's buying, it'll buy it, and then it's going to wait 60 minutes before it buys it back. And what this 2 here is the max number of open positions in a day for one symbol. Meaning, if it's just going straight down, it's not going to accumulate more than 2 lots in a day. But it can go up and down, and I could sell that. I can go up and down, buy and sell that coin 50 times in a day if that's what it's doing. But if it's just going down, I'm stopping after 2 lots. Now, some people raise that because they're eager to get all their money in fast. They're so in a hurry to get in at the top, and I don't know what the rush is. But what happens is, when things are tanking, do you really want to just go buy on a big down day? Slow down. That's why this column here shows the defaults. So if you mess it up, you can always go back to the defaults, to the tried and true numbers.
right. And these
But
are,
I mean,
these
I
are,
leave it here. Some people say, well, why give it, why not just set everybody's account to the defaults, and why even give us the ability to change this stuff? Because each person's an individual. Do what you want to
yep.
do. It's not, I'm going to giving you a tool, but I'm not believe me, there's a lot of indicators that I did not put on this screen. I'm not, because people will destroy themselves,
That's right. So
if you
there
give them
two,
too much.
yeah, two comments. Two comments. Ken says the most important thing is great market cap and good volatility. I would add one more thing to that, is good utility. The fact that the company is actually doing something that's adding value
That is
to
a
the
big deal.
market.
That's why I
Right.
chose ACH, Alchemy
Right.
Pay.
Right.
That
And then
that coin should be $20 a share. It's going for 2 cents. What an
well,
insult.
just wait. It might. Steve also says, is it best to keep, or ask the question, is it best to keep the settings at the default? My personal opinion, this is not
90%, over
uh,
90% of the people leave the default.
right. So it's not any advice, but it's my personal sentiment is just that. These are
Most people do
tried
not
and
touch these
true, right?
defaults.
There are thousands and thousands of traders in the marketplace, meaning people that own and use the GoBabyTrade. Somebody had touched on how many are out there. There are literally thousands and thousands and thousands. Can't give you an exact number, but particularly as we're educating people more and more and faster, and invite anybody that you believe would benefit from this information, just have them register. You can share the registration link. This is all about education, but I can tell you, hopefully you're leaving here. If this is the first time you've seen the message, you're leaving here much more informed than when you came in, right? So
Right, for sure.
Ed Barsano and his team, these are not dart throw, guess in the dark,
There is no, this is a
default
precision
settings,
system.
right?
There's no gambling here at
Right.
all. There's no
These settings,
randomness here.
yeah, these settings are tried and true. So yes, my personal opinion is leave the settings as the settings. Employ the system, get back to real living. Like I said, you can't buy time, but this gives
There
you
is
the
one
best shot.
exception. There is
There
one
is one.
exception to the 60-minute rule here, where it says require to wait 60 minutes between buys, or from the time you sell it to buy it back. If it's the last lot, and this actually came in support today, and somebody asked me the question, or asked support the question, and I was glancing through and I saw it. He said, how come it bought? I didn't even think I had a chance to answer him. Well, someone in support will answer him. He said, how come it sold this coin and 1 minute later it bought it right back? Because he knows he had 60 minutes on here. From the last time from the last close, it should have waited 60 minutes before it bought again. It's the reason is the auto trader always wants to be in. You got to have him, and you got to have something for the auto trader to latch onto so that it knows what is up and what is down. If you don't own the coin, then what am I measuring? There's nothing there. So you always want to have some inventory because you benefit either way. Once you buy it, if it goes up, you make money. If it goes down, you add more. You got the market in a box. But if you don't own any shares of it at all, you don't have the market in anything. So you got to have, so if it sells, so I told him, even though you say do not close lots that will be immediately reopened, in this case, it took the profit and because it reached the this $100, he took his profit, but then it opened it up a minute later, because he
Because it
didn't
was the
have
last
any of the
lot.
shares, so
Right.
it bought it back.
Right. All right, Mr. Barsano, we'll end with the last two questions / comments. Luann says, will we see improvements on all the traders that have been bought up till now? The answer is yes. This is a
There's only there's only one trader.
Right.
We all got it. We all get everything.
So every time there's an update, every time there's an improvement, that is retro, not even retro. It's included in whether you own the trader now, whether you buy the trader today, whether you bought it, a year ago, or whether you buy it 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Every update, every improvement is system wide. So great question, but yes, I mean that's a huge benefit in that you get to experience it for that, and I usually leave with a closing slide that says for the price of half a cup of Starbucks coffee, be more precise, $3.19 a day, you have the opportunity to automate part of your financial life. And people often do ask, what about future updates and what about this and that and the other? Those are all included. That quite frankly, there are other systems out there or other companies that will trade for you that not only will charge you a system price, but charge you a monthly maintenance and take part of your profits. This is a one-time deal, one time for a 3-year license. So
yeah, we're not in the
benefits
collections business. We're not in the collections business. I don't want to waste time on that stuff. My mission is to make these auto traders make more money. That's what it's all about. And I don't, you remember I didn't even have a pretty website, right? And finally a month ago I did. I couldn't take the criticisms anymore because I'm not a web developer. I mean, I thought it was a nice enough website, but everybody's it's not a professional website,
everybody loves the improvements. That's an improvement. So,
I know, I like that what Lady M says. I like the 80s look. I know. I thought it was nice big letters and all that, but everybody they're focused on the wrong stuff. And
and I'll tell
who
you,
cares what the website looks like for crying out loud? This thing cranks out 100% of your return plus. And you're worried about what the website looks like.
Bernie says money doesn't care, but let me make this comment. So I've had a lot of people comment about the new look of the website and how it makes a difference. So sometimes on this side of the fence we don't see the perspective, but listen, the world at large is out there. I don't want to sound too cynical or
cynical.
Cynical. Well, I don't want to sound cynical or pessimistic, but there are people trying to beat you out of your hard-earned money. This isn't one of them. A lot of people did comment when they went to the website. They would buy. Their comment would be, "I would love to buy this, but I'm not sure that it's real based on the fact that a lot of people are telling me the website looks like a scam." So no disrespect to you, to Ed.
No, they're right. They're right.
Right.
They're right.
The fact that you made it more professional, that makes it more believable. I know this story for people that hear it, maybe even for the first time or the second time or the third time, it sounds unreal. It doesn't sound real. So all of these little improvements, including the little bit of facelift, right, that makes Ed Barsano look like Cary Grant, right? All of it counts towards the positive. And I listen, Ed, I love you. You know that. I'm just making levity but it's all good. The fact
Oh yeah.
that you work in the background for everybody's benefit is an absolute blessing to everybody that gets a chance. Our biggest problem, here's our biggest problem. We can't get to enough people fast enough. So if you want to spread the word, that would be spectacular. So with that, I'm gonna mention, and this is a question for you. Bernie says, Mr. B. So on a bullish market, the max lot opened would be better at a higher number? Question mark.
There's no such thing as a bullish market. You don't know. It's all about volatility within the market, and you don't really max lots means how many you're going to add in a down market, in a down day. I don't want to accumulate more than 2 lots in a day in a down market, because I don't want, what if it drops 20 or 30% and I'm just buying. You don't want all your money to get used up all at the top, because you want to be able to, because then if you use up all the money at the top, when it goes lower, you have very little money to trade with. You start buying in smaller lot sizes. If I'm buying in $100 lot sizes and I use up all my money up here, then I start buying in $20 lot sizes. It gets smaller, and you don't like that. I would like $100 lot sizes across the board, or $500 lot sizes, or whatever your money, based on the the management that the software does. It'll let it do the math, but you don't want to go all in at the top. The market, it'll hurt you. It's ruthless. When you think sometimes we'll have a few big up days, and then people want to start throwing all their money in, and then you'll get a whole month of straight down market, and you'll get hammered.
It's happened in the last 3 months.
And what happens when that happens is the people that went and overrode the system, and they start throwing all their money in up here at the top because they thought they were in a really great bull market, which I haven't seen in 4 years yet. So then when it went down here, they ran out of money because they used it all up here. Sometimes someone will literally spend all their money. They'll go out and like they'll go to Coinbase and they got a beautiful $40,000 account. The auto trader used $2,000 to start out, bought some coins, still got 38,000 left. Actually, the real number was 42,000. It bought $2,000 worth of crypto. It had 40,000 cash left for lifetime trading, right? But then that person went out and literally went to Coinbase and bought $40,000 manually of XRP. Boom! Took all the money out of the account. Just used it all up on that one coin. The auto trader had no more money, and then I got the phone call. How come my auto trader isn't trading? Your auto trader doesn't have any cash to trade with. It's like you walked into a store and you left your wallet at home. And it sounds crazy. I don't know why I say stuff like that, but I mean that's reality,
Yep.
So
yeah. Let me close with this. I usually close by giving examples. So look at this. This is not advice, but a lot of people ask, how much do I need to start with to make it worthwhile? Right? People look at it and go, well, listen, even at the discount, $3,500 is a lot of money, right? You may consider that, but if you look at this at the way that we've talked about it over a lifetime, it for $3.19 a day to improve your current situation, would you consider making a couple of changes? Would you go one less day of a Starbucks coffee, or skip it altogether if you could turn your money into more money? So just to consider. So let me give you
use a different example other than Starbucks. I can't go a day without Starbucks. Tell me Jack in the Box. Would you skip Jack in the Box for one day?
Can we just skip Jack in the Box for one day? All right. So let me enlarge that. Can you see my screen, Ed?
I can't not have my smart water though.
All right. So this is an example. If you started with $5,000, now you've seen the actual results, and you've seen the actual results based on the top traders, 100%, 200%, 400%. I'm going to give you this as this first example, and I'm going to give you two. One is based on historical information that we just shared with you. One is less than half of historical. So if you started with $5,000, let's just say it performed at 50% per year. I mean, that if you said that abstractly to somebody, they would think you can't count because that doesn't exist. You know it exists. We've shown you the example, right? If you owned it for 3 years, your opportunity, and you didn't own it, sorry, if you didn't invest in it, now minus the cost of the license for the 3 years, minus your $5,000 that you started with, if you didn't own it, your opportunity cost would be almost $8,400. At the end of 6 years, if I said, I'm going to give you, for every dollar you give me, I'm going to give you 3 back. How many dollars are you going to give me? All of
As
them.
many as I can.
All of them. So your opportunity lost if you didn't at the end of 6 years is 45,000. Remember, this is at a 50% number. 9 years, if I keep giving you $3 for every dollar you give me, are you going to stop? No. At the end of 9 years, it's $176,000+. Who would not want to create a money machine of them, right? But let me do this. Let's look at this one, right? Same $5,000, but if now 100% is believable because you've seen 1, 2, 3, very rarely does it not return triple digits, right? Which doesn't even sound right coming out of my mouth. But look at the end numbers, right? Same scenario, 3, 6, and 9. 3-year opportunity cost not to buy the trader. 6-year not to buy the trader. And 9 years on $5,000. It seems absurd, but do the math. These I give you as an example. You are in a position to own the market. And you didn't even have to do any work. I didn't have to do any work, right? You just drink smart water. So with that, we'll let you go. We tried to shorten it up a bit. We didn't hit Mr. Barsano's magic number of 3 hours. But
no, we were trying to cut it short. We were trying to actually do it 2 hours. We still did 2 hours and 38 minutes.
We did see Attila, Mr. Oversight, left us. So he left us running rampant just to keep sharing. So, so I forgot to mention this at the beginning. Anybody that's recorded, anybody that's registered for this, even if you didn't attend, you'll get a copy of it, a replay of it, a little bit later than when we're finishing. So by the end of the day tomorrow, you'll get a copy of it. And if you have any questions, I'm going to post them one more time. Crypto Casey's discounted link. You can do your own research there. If you choose to take advantage, of the value of this tool, then please do. If you have any questions, there's her link. If you have any questions, I posted these earlier as well. Non-technical questions you can send to Attila and I, our company, and our folks will respond to you. If there's more technical questions, just send it to support@GoBabyTrade. And we're not just here to educate you here, educate you going forward. We're also here to invite you to be part of our community, right? We're going to be adding so many things onto this. We're going to be lighting up a community that includes lots and lots of information, particularly if you're in that 17% and new to the crypto market and the whole decentralized market. If you do nothing, if you walk away a little bit smarter than you did before you came in here and you decide not to take advantage of Trader, that's okay too. Please do educate yourself on what's happening in the market. I talked early on about a debt-based system that is going to do nothing but go south. If you're not making 20% on your money, don't be fooled by what you're hearing on the lie box, what I lovingly call the TV, because the lie box, the matrix is there to trick you into being poor. Because if you're poor, you can be controlled. I know I don't want to be controlled, and I can tell you from 32 years inside the system. This is not. I'm not trying to rattle you. This is not anti-government. This is just the cold, hard truth. Because if you are controlled, other people make decisions for you. You now have the opportunity to make your own decisions. So with that, thank you so much for everybody that's attended. Those that didn't attend, hope you get a chance to watch this and get something out of it. Mr. Barsano, thank you from the bottom of my heart and my kids' heart. they now have a legacy that can build itself.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. And my last words, go Navy.
Go Navy. 8 years in the Navy. Yes, sir. Thank you for your service. Cheers to everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome to join us anytime. Use the same registration link. Peace, prosper, make
God
money.
bless y'all.
We'll see you next week. Thanks, Ed.
You're welcome.